Prepare yourself.
Oh, this is the Ninja Troll Digicast.
Hello and welcome again to the Cathedral of Wisdom, the plush, well-lit, modern studio of the Ninja Troll Digicast. We say that because we're sitting in a closet. That's what makes it funny. I am Tim Dixon. I'm one of your hosts for this said Ninja Troll Digicast. I am joined by Mike Worth, the other host.
Am I the Pope of the Cathedral of Wisdom?
You're the Pope of the most. No, you can't be the Pope.
The Popist with the mostest? Yeah, I saw you try to work that out.
Yeah. We'll work on that.
I'm the hostess with the
Okay.
mostest.
If you're the Pope, I'm the Grand Poobah.
All right.
I can deal with that.
I like the shoes. I like the Pope shoes.
Yeah. Well, what about the hat? That's
It's
the
a
best
yarmulke.
part.
It's a yarmulke.
It's a big yarmulke.
It's a giant one.
It's a really tall yarmulke.
It's when you're like a little kid and you go to like a big kid's bar mitzvah and you get the giant one.
You get the giant one. Okay.
You get the giant one.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Well, we got a great show coming up, don't we?
We do. We got a jam-packed show coming up this week. We're going to have our showcase on the lantern spectrum. I don't know. You can't. I almost referred to it as the Green Lantern spectrum,
Yeah.
but it's not that. It's the
All the colors
the
of the
entire.
lanterns.
Yeah, exactly. It's the. So I guess you could just call it the emotional spectrum that is used in the Green Lantern mythos. So we have our showcase on that, and that was a lot of fun for me because that kind of happened while I was out of reading comics. So I come back and it's like, wait a minute, there's all these other lanterns.
Oh, so
So
that
where'd
was
that come
something that
from?
even you was new for you.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So, and also we've got part 2 of our Crisis on Earth Prime.
Ha-ha.
The machinations of Per Degaton.
Yes.
Or try to stop him.
Famous, small, redheaded friend.
Yeah, he's a little ginger midget.
Yeah. Fascist. He's a fascist.
He's a fascist ginger midget.
That's right.
Also, in our movie and TV news, we've got a lot of stuff coming out about our new TV shows that are the some of our favorites that are starting
Next week.
Next
right?
week,
And then
yes.
some a little bit after.
And then in the comic rack, we got a lot of little tidbits of information from Jim Lee about some stuff that may be coming up, and a little teaser that's telling us to stay tuned for the New York Comic Con.
Oh.
So, which I believe is this weekend. I'm not entirely sure
yeah.
on that.
Yeah,
but
I'm not sure. Well, they're trying to steal back some of that San Diego thunder.
exactly. They're currently being sued by San Diego for using the word Comic Con, but
What?
they're suing San Diego or it's Comic Con International is the company that puts
on San Diego? Okay.
They're suing Salt Lake, Boston, New York, and I think there's somewhere else that uses the phrase Comic Con.
Oh my God. Is that for real?
Absolutely, yeah. I haven't heard
Ooh.
any rumblings of how it's going or anything, but
Okay. All right. We should check back in on that.
But they
'cause that's-
trademarked the Comic Dash Con. They've been able to trademark that, but they wouldn't let them trademark Comic Con as one word.
Okay, which I've seen, right? It's
Yeah.
one C sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's Comic-Con.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, for
yeah.
our red friends.
Exactly, yeah. So I'm not sure where the lawsuit sits or whether it's even gonna. I don't.
That is so dumb.
Yeah, yeah. Because everybody knows San Diego Comic Con it's separate. I mean,
Yeah, but it's like a thing. It's like
yeah,
saying sandwich. We've patented the word sandwich. You may
Exactly.
not call it a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
yeah,
You must call it a peanut butter bread thing.
yeah. Yes. A bread construct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll have to check into that and see how that's working out.
But there's big news coming out of the New York Comic Book Con.
Yes, that is exactly. That is what they're saying. One of the producers for the Batman film franchise
Cool.
is saying, "Stay tuned."
Some news.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, good.
So,
I hope we
that's
get
cool.
some new Batman stuff.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
You know me, I would love that. So, and also something I noticed this week: H.P. Lovecraft's old apartment in Providence, Rhode Island, is up for rent.
On Craigslist.
Yeah, on Craigslist, of course. Yeah.
So-
It's not sketchy enough that it's H.P. Lovecraft's apartment. It has to be on Craigslist too.
Well,
That's got to be just.
Well, that's going to be creepy. I mean,
Yeah, it's got to be.
even if you're a weirdo, there's the demons will
just-
come and correct anything
There's
that's going on
certain
there.
levels that you won't go past,
Right.
even if you are a weirdo.
Cthulhu is going to emerge and you're going to have suction cups all over your dead body. So.
Yeah, I think what they should do is somebody should rent it and then give tours.
See if they live.
But no, I mean not live there. Hell no. I would give tours. I mean,
I would too.
because people would go and see.
And this is in Providence. I wonder how big the apartment is. Because I mean, if it's like Brooklyn, then you'd be like, well, this
It'd
is
be like tiny. Yeah.
We all spin around. Like this is where he showered.
Turn around. This is
where
where
he
he
cooked.
ate. Yes.
And he could do both at the same time.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So maybe I don't know. I never really thought about him having an apartment. I mean,
No.
that's not something that you really think about with H.P. Lovecraft.
Nah, you think he lives on like the galley of a ship or something,
or a cave or something,
or in Antarctica? Yeah.
Exactly. So I don't know, but apparently it's up for rent on Craigslist. So, and
spare no expense.
Exactly. Warner Brothers Interactive. Speaking of Batman, we were talking just a second ago.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment says that Batman is still their primary character moving forward for games. So just because the Arkham series
Is over?
is wrapped up, it's not like we're not gonna see another Batman game.
Well, the next Batman game better be epically better.
The bar's set high. So yeah, that's but it's good to see that's they're still saying that he's still our main character as far as games going forward. So that's pretty cool.
That's great. Yeah, I'm excited about that.
And last Friday, the 25th, would have been Christopher Reeve's 63rd birthday. That's kind of cool to
How long ago did he pass away?
It was, I'm thinking maybe like 10. Was it 10 years ago?
Wow, that's a good long while.
I'm not sure. Let me check on that. See when he actually passed away. It was 2004. Yeah, it's over 10 years.
Wow.
Doesn't seem like it's been that long ago, but yeah, that's it was
a sad story. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely was. Yeah. But yeah, last Friday would have been his 63rd birthday. Mark Hamill was, I think, Saturday was his 64th birthday.
Wow.
So again, it's one of those things. It's like, yeah, it's like, wow, he's 64. That kind of made me stop and go, wait a minute, he's that old?
He's really old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
He's
Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you think about those. Of course, he was what, 19 when they did Star Wars.
78 was when Star Wars came out.
Or 77, I think.
It was 77.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I
Wow.
think he was 19 when they shot that. So, but yeah, that's been a long time ago.
He's old.
In a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah.
And also Michael Douglas, Hank Pym, turned 71.
Oh.
So.
Yeah, he's been old for a while. So that's all right.
Yeah, even when he was young, he was old.
Yeah,
He's
Gordon Gekko. Yeah.
Yeah, he still looked old, and that was 30 years ago. So. Right. But let's head right into our movie and TV news. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. The zombies on a plane.
Oh, what's happening?
Fear the Walking Dead Flight 462 will be a 16-part web-based series, which will begin October 4th.
I hope Bruce Dickinson gets to play the pilot.
That would be awesome.
And then turn out to be a zombie.
Yeah, that's the thing. Celebrities in general, but especially it seems like metal musicians are like real big fans of The Walking Dead. Like Scott Ian from Anthrax has been in The Walking Dead. He was a walker.
Was he really?
Mm-hmm.
I know the guys from Mastodon were White Walkers, right,
Yep.
on Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So metal and zombies go together.
Yeah.
Like they on the last Anthrax
Like
album.
moonshine and pickles.
There you go. Don't even know what that means.
Well,
But on Anthrax's last album, it was called Worship Music, was the name of the album. But their first single was Fight 'Em Till You Can't, and it was about zombies.
about hacking up a crowd.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, that
When does that come out?
October 4th.
Okay.
Will be the first, and like I said, it's 16-part series. I don't know if they're coming out once a week or what.
Is this this would be on AMC.com?
I would assume so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's an interesting concept because, like like we were talking about, you are trapped in this environment. It's the same thing of snakes on a plane. It became quite a joke because it was it was so over the top campy. But if you take it in on a serious bend, you think about it, if somebody dies on a plane and then they turn, you're not getting out of there
No, you
until
can't.
they land the plane.
Right. I mean, but it's like, yeah, where we talked about, like the snakes get around stuff. They get
Yeah,
in crevices and
that's
they
true.
pop out and bite you and you
Yeah.
die. Zombie. I mean, we were saying it's like, and I was flying to Denver this past weekend. I couldn't get past the lady who got up, like out of the seat.
Yeah.
If I was a walker, or if it was a walker, forget it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm reserving judgment on this one. I want to
Yeah.
see how it plays out. If
But
it's good, it's going to be great.
I mean, it's definitely it's set in the Fear the Walking Dead
Environment.
era.
So nobody knows to shoot him in the head.
That's the thing.
They'll say, "Oh, don't touch him." Oh, and they
Yeah.
won't. Let's fight back. They'll say, "Why are you biting me?" Ow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What's Joe? What are you doing? It's I mean, in a situation like that, they're not sure what's going on.
Yeah.
So that can lead to much more. Yeah, on The Walking Dead, yeah, it's no problem. You see a walker, you shoot it or you stab it in the head, and
Move on.
that's cool. Yeah, you
it's
move
no
on.
problem.
But in this situation, it could be completely different. So
Right.
yeah, well, I mean, we'll watch it and see. At least I'll give them 2 that I'll watch. I'll assume
You're
like
generous.
if it's web based, I assume it's going to be a little shorter.
Yeah, I'm
it
sure
won't be like a
12
full-
minutes or
yeah.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, especially with a 16 part. You figured, yeah, it's going to be maybe 15 minutes at the outset.
And I watched the Sci-Fi Channel had the Blood and Chrome Battlestar Galactica web series that was like sort of after all the shows and
Yeah.
stuff. I was like hooked on it by that point, and that was a good, decent thing. And it was little chunks.
Yeah.
And that made it doable.
Yeah,
So
it's easier so you're not sitting down for an entire hour to watch a show. Yeah.
no, and it's good. It's got the serial nature. So
Yeah, that's
All right.
cool.
you give it 2, I give it 1.
All right, there we go. Yeah.
You can convince me to try the second one.
Okay, yeah.
We'll see.
In the main show, Walking Dead, they seem to be casting for Negan under a code name under the code name Orin.
Orin.
Like the description is loud, brash, hilarious, vulgar, leader type. It sounds just like Negan,
Okay.
but they're calling it Orin. So that may be trying to throw people off the scent that they're trying to cast him.
And did you was this written up somewhere, or did you sort of say, that sounds just
it
like
was
Negan?
written. Somebody tweeted it was a casting call that they put out,
Ah.
and somebody tweeted it the quoted description and said, "Does this sound like anybody we know?"
Okay.
So, yeah,
Pretty clear then.
exactly. Yeah, it seems like that. That's what I mean. They're trying, like I said, with the code name of Orin, they're trying to kind of throw you off the scent, but it still seems like if it's
We're
not
smarter than that.
yeah, if it's not Negan outright, then it's a character that's pretty damn close to him.
Yeah.
So, but they have cast Tom Paine as Paul Jesus Monroe, who is from the Hilltop community in the comic book.
That's near Alexandria.
Exactly. It's another. So that maybe we'll get the inclusion of a couple more. There's the Hilltop community, and then there's I think they call it the Kingdom. That is around the Alexandria area.
I just got this crazy vision of like Arlington Cemetery like coming alive. And I was like,
Oh,
my
I didn't even
God.
thought about that. Yeah, a cemetery that size. Good lord.
Yeah, with troops.
Yeah.
Right. All
Wow.
eras of soldier.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
oh,
crazy.
man.
I didn't even
Yeah.
thought about that, but yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Yikes. It's a little scary. But yeah, maybe we'll start to see a little more of the other communities around, and because in the comics, like I said, we were talking about, I think it was last week.
Wasn't Maggie?
Maggie is
goes over to Hilltop?
Yeah, she is the head of the leader of Hilltop.
Oh,
And that whole confrontation between the two of them,
her and Rick about.
yeah,
Yeah.
they got into it and basically came to blows, and then they kind of went, okay, what the hell are we doing? Stop. Sorry, my bad. So it was just a big blow up.
Wow.
We haven't gotten to the Negan cover where he's taking
aligned
him
with
as
Rick.
I'm really looking forward to that.
So you think that this will coincide with Walking Dead 100?
I would think so. I would think the
this season
end of this season
we'll get
will
there.
coincide to 100, because that's where they ran into the scavengers with Negan's group.
Okay. So we'll
and
probably
there's-
get the wolves, and then
Yeah.
we'll maybe get scavengers at the
Yeah,
end.
in the DC area, there's the scavengers, and then there's the survivalists. I mean, maybe Negan's group is the
Turnbull
the
ATs,
survivalists.
the Warriors.
The word no, they don't want to come out and play.
The
Okay, yeah, he
Pixies?
is the leader of the Saviors. I'm sorry,
the Saviors.
the Saviors, and there's also the Scavengers are another DC group, which I'm thinking may be what the Wolves are being made into.
Okay.
Um,
Because we've seen wolves and wolves near.
exactly,
Right,
yeah.
wolves
So I'm
nearby.
thinking that may be the Scavengers.
Oh,
The
that's
DC,
cool.
they call themselves the DC Scavengers. That may be what we come into, but yes, that picture right there on where I'm looking at the Walking Dead wiki page, and the picture they have for Negan, he's just got this just smarmy smile on his face.
He looks like a buff Joker.
yeah. He's like, I know
It's
something
dark.
that you don't. That's what the look on his face always says, is I know something you don't.
Oh.
Basically, so he's a great villain though. So
Cool.
I'm looking forward to him showing up. So
And when does Walking Dead premiere again?
the 11th,
The
October 11th. So
Ha,
that's the same week. Flash on the
Oh,
6th.
right. Your birthday.
Yeah, it's Flash on the 6th, Arrow
how
on
you
the
remembered.
7th, and then the 11th Sunday, my birthday, and The Walking Dead. So
Wow.
you're welcome. They put it on the 11th for my birthday. So
Amazing. So stab Timmy in the
Yeah.
head.
Speaking of the Flash, there's a lot of news out of that. Candace Patton says we may have 3 Flashes this year because
Wow.
you're introduced. Well, of course, Jay Garrick. We're going to have 2 right there,
Right.
but then Wally's being introduced as well. So
That's
at
cool.
some point we may have all 3 of them, and it may be like a alternate look, like a look into an alternate universe or something like that, or another timeline or something like that. But we may see all 3 of them.
That's awesome.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they work out a more formal time travel, Earth travel type thing.
Yeah. The transmatter cube.
The transmatter cube.
And this was I think this was a mistake. It was a behind the scenes little perspective thing on the season. They messed up and revealed a picture of the new Firestorm.
Really?
And the video is gone.
Oh.
They like anytime you try to play the video, it says the video is private.
Okay.
So I think somebody made it public before it was supposed to be.
Oh.
But
Some
yeah,
people got a glimpse.
yeah, exactly. They got
Cool.
screen captures. You can see it, and it's a young African American man, which we had talked about.
Oh, right.
That Jason, it was possibly Jason. In the comics, it's Jason Rush. He has been introduced in the show, but I don't remember whether he was African American or not. But they had introduced the character Jay Jackson, played by Franz Dremel, and it looks like the picture looks like him with the Matrix thing that keeps Firestorm and that combines them into Firestorm.
Okay.
So
I think this is him. This appears to be
yeah, it's not that picture, but
Jason Rush debut, Revenge of the Rogues.
so he was okay. Yeah, he was. So that's Jason Rush, but the guy I don't think that's the guy in the picture. It's hard to tell because it's a kind of a medium shot with him and Flash, but it's definitely not Ronnie Raymond.
Okay.
But of course, that could be Earth 2 Firestorm.
Oh. Is there an Earth 2 Firestorm?
Could be. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I guess they'll take the
You
liberty.
never know. I mean,
Because we haven't seen one in the
it
comics.
could be. Maybe Ronnie is somehow out of the Matrix. I don't know. I mean, but like I said, the video is gone now, so you can't even look at it to
Oh,
see.
man.
All you see is the screen cap
Okay.
that they were able to get. So, but I think somebody let something out of the bag that they wasn't supposed to.
Well, that's all right.
But in the trailer that is there, you can still watch this. We finally get a glimpse of Zoom. Not a great one, but you get to see him. And Jay Garrick says he killed a lot of people on my planet. So Zoom is from Earth 2, apparently. So that gives you a little bit of idea of where he's coming from. So it definitely sounds like that he comes from Earth 2, and maybe Jay's coming to
Catch
to
him.
catch him,
So find
yeah.
out where he's going.
And you also had a little cool interaction between Barry and Jay, where Jay says, so they call you the Scarlet Speedster. And he says, yeah, and what about you? And he says, the Crimson Comet. So they're kind of sharing their little
Alliterations.
experiences of, and it's always alliteration, yeah. So, but yeah, it was a fun little thing in between, and they have like all right, the big hero handshake, let's work together to take him down kind of deal, which I don't know
Nice.
if we'll get that in our first episode, but
What's the first episode called?
I don't remember.
Did it say in the showrunner or anything?
It may be called Flash of Two Worlds. I don't
Well, if
know.
it is, then we know that's
Yeah.
the case. Yeah.
Well, I think they did say that we will get him for like right off the bat.
Oh, that's great. I've seen some great photos now of what's his name, Teddy.
I forget what his name is.
Yeah, the actor, but he looks great.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's not as old as Garrick looks in the comics.
No, he's not. No, he's not an older. The Man Who Saved Central City is episode 1.
Man Who Saved Central City. Okay.
And season 2 is Flash of Two Worlds.
That's what the
That's
season
the
is
name.
called.
No. Episode 2 of season 2 is called Flash of. So
Then
we
know
will
it.
get Jay Garrick in the second episode.
Okay, then Family
Teddy
of Rogues.
Sears.
Right, Teddy Sears. Yep.
Yeah.
And then Family of Rogues is going to be those brothers, right? Weren't you saying that there was a villain who had a brother who's stuck in the particle accelerator and he comes back to break him out?
No. That was
the mist
from the premiere.
Oh, okay.
That
right,
was
they
the
had to
like
switch.
I'm not the pilot. They changed it to the weather wizard because they wanted somebody who had brother
instead
of the mist. Yeah. So I'm not sure exactly what Family of Rogues will be. But yeah, the episode 1 is The Man Who Saved Central City, and it picks up months after where it left off, where like he was going to try to stop the singularity, and Atom Smasher will be in.
Cool. In that first episode?
Yeah.
And Atom Smasher is an Earth 2 hero.
Yes.
He's a JSA member.
Yeah.
So we'll already have some crossover.
Yeah, and he was always, and in one of the trailers, Atom Smasher says, "Zoom sent me to take you out."
So he's a bad guy?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes. He's the bad guy. And I looked up. Atom Smasher was also Nuclon in
Right, you sent me that.
Infinity.
Yeah,
Inc.
Infinity Incorporated.
Yeah. So yeah, he's been he's been another hero at a different time. So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah.
I'm pumped. I can't wait to see
yeah.
this. This is going to be just bananas.
And this actually came out, I think, just yesterday. Vanessa Williams, not that Vanessa Williams.
90s pop star.
No, not her. But she was on Melrose Place, and I think she was in Candyman. Which it's funny.
Okay. We were talking about that.
Jesse Martin was in Candyman, and Tony Todd, who was going to be the voice of Zoom, was Candyman. So this is another person from Candyman. She's been cast as Iris's mom,
Okay.
but she's a good bit younger. So I'm thinking it's a flashback because they've never really like gone into it, but it's kind of been implied that she's no longer around.
Yeah, right.
Whether-
We haven't.
whether it's because she died or whether she left, but she's not around anymore.
Gotcha.
So I'm thinking, but she's a good bit younger.
She's also African American.
Yeah, but I'm thinking so it'll be probably flashback
Okay.
because
I've
she's obviously not Jesse Martin's age.
Nope.
She's not Joe's age. So
Yeah. She's like Iris's age.
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, so I'm thinking it's probably a flashback to maybe she died, maybe I don't know. So
Okay.
but she has been cast as Mama West.
Mama West.
And also in the Flaro universe, we got a new teaser trailer, which for Arrow, which shows Dignito in his helmet. It has a visor, so
Uh-oh.
it makes it look a lot less like Magneto.
So
than-
Judge Diggle.
It does kind of look Judge Diggle now,
Diggle
but a
Dread.
little more like a motorcycle helmet.
Okay.
So not as cheesy, and not as much of a ripoff.
Spartan.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
We get to see shots of Canary and Speedy, and Damien Dark saying, "I suggest you say goodbye."
Nice.
You don't see who he's saying it to,
Yeah.
but you kind of assume it's it's Arrow. And also, Stephen Amell in a Facebook Q&A says that Flash, Arrow, and Legends of Tomorrow are basically one show. They kind of everything is looked at as
It's one bubble.
as a big overview. So, and I think that's great because if you're having this much crossover between them, you need to,
Yeah.
because otherwise you're gonna have stuff that starts to get wonky.
They want to wobble and lose.
Mm-hmm.
So all right. So what do we call this? Legends of Flaro.
Legends of
We have
Flaro.
to, we have to create this universe.
Yes.
And
We should
blog it.
trademark it. Legends of Flaro.
Legends of Flaro. Legends of Flaro tomorrow.
Yeah, and there's an international thing I saw. It was I think it was Japanese. There's a channel in Japan that's going to be showing all of the Arrow, Flash, Supergirl, and Heroes
awesome.
all on
one channel.
Yeah,
The Hero Network.
I guess. Yeah,
That's
basically.
amazing.
But there was a promo for all of them together, and in that promo, you got to hear Stephen Amell say, "I need to become the Green Arrow." So you
Ooh.
actually got to hear him say that, which was kind of cool.
But we found out that the first episode of next season is called.
It's
Green
called
Arrow.
Green Arrow. Yeah,
So we may
we may get that like right off the bat.
Could
so.
be. Yeah. It's time. I think.
I think so. Yeah.
How many
Yeah.
seasons? 3 that he's
This
been.
will be the fourth. This is
Yeah.
the beginning of the fourth
So
episode.
it's been
or
3
fourth,
seasons of him
season.
not being Green Arrow.
Yeah.
Which is his.
Yeah, which
character.
they just call him Arrow. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm glad they didn't just have him as Flaw and then he became the Flash.
there you go.
Hey, Flaw.
It's flan.
Yeah.
A Mexican dessert.
Yeah.
But on Gotham, Marina Baccarin and Ben McKenzie, which I didn't even realize they were an actual couple.
Oh, in real life?
Yeah,
Wow.
they're having a baby,
Nice.
and they're making plans to get married.
They gonna name it Bruce?
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be really
That-
cool if they did. But the show is not going to incorporate. I guess they'll do like a Claire Huxtable and kind of like hide her behind a bag of groceries or something. They did that with
Felicia Rashad?
when Felicia Rashad was pregnant on one episode or one season. They would she would always be carrying a bag of groceries to hide the pregnant stomach.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
So, but they're not planning to address it on the show.
Okay.
So it's not going to be like, oh, yeah, she's having Batgirl. I mean, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they do. Like if maybe she goes and visits her family out of town for a little bit or something like that.
He's gonna go stay with his sister
Yeah,
in Cincinnati.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how they do that, how they deal with that on the show. And they've also cast Raul Castillo as Eduardo Flamingo.
All right.
It sounds like a silly name, and the guy looks pretty silly when you look him up, the character, because he's like a circus.
Is this like a 66 type of villain?
No, this was a fairly current one, and it
wow.
was created by Grant. Actually, I think the character may be from farther back, but Grant Morrison used him
sort of resurrected
in
him.
his run in the Circus of Strange.
Oh.
And it was, I mean,
Is
if
this-
you've ever read any of Grant Morrison's stuff, the dude can be pretty whacked out.
Is
And
this like Professor Strange?
No,
Is that what? No, it's not what it's referencing.
no, not Hugo Strange. No, this
Okay.
was a group that was led by Professor Pig.
Which was
And
going to
the
be my,
dude-
my name on
He
the
was.
show.
That's the thing. It
glad
sounds
we didn't go
silly.
with
Yeah, it sounds silly. Just like Eduardo Flamingo sounds silly, but this is a whacked out group of serial killers.
Wow. I mean, because it
So-
sounds Larry the Lilac-y.
Exactly. It sounds really weird,
Or
but
Zelda.
but-
What's her name? Zelda the
Great. So that's Zorba the Great.
Oh, Zorba the Great? Who is it? There's a woman,
I have no idea
a
what you're
woman
talking about,
Batman villain on 66. Anyway, she's like an old lady. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Zelda the something. Yeah. Anyway,
But yeah, this it was a part of Grant Morrison's run, and when Professor Pig always wore a pig mask, and he was just really, really creepy looking.
I mean, I just do that, so I should have kept that.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, Google Professor Pig, Batman Professor Pig. You'll like these pictures.
This is Zelda the Great.
Zelda the Great. So
Yeah,
it was.
That's
Okay.
who I was talking about. But look at this Carrie Kelly little appearance there. That didn't work out. Jill St.
No.
John. Yeah, well, that's interesting.
So
She
she
looks
played-
just like Carrie Kelly.
Yeah. So she played Robin in an episode.
I think she
Or
like
she
dressed
dressed
up.
up like him.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
of course
'cause
it fools everybody.
Yeah, yeah. So obviously, no difference between Jill St. John and Burt Ward.
Right.
You can't tell anybody difference there.
Not at all. I mean, that's It's really,
That's
it's a really smart thing.
That's
to do.
what it is. With little news from Doctor Who, and I think we were talking about this about the metal performers going into
Sci-fi fantasy
to
heroes, yeah.
zombie stuff. Here, Slipknot frontman Corey Taylor will provide the scream for the Fisher King on the next episode of Doctor Who.
Wow.
There's 3 different people playing the Fisher King. There's the physical person in a suit. Then there's a person doing the voice, but then they have Corey Taylor doing the scream because they want like a guttural, real deep, dark scream. Which I mean, if you've ever listened to Slipknot, he can nail that.
Yeah, he's got it. Yep.
So,
He's pretty much
I just
got
love
it.
that there's 3 different people playing.
I mean, this is like the Grinch, like the whole Grinch controversy, right? With what was his name, Boris Karloff, and then the guy
Boris Karloff was the narrator.
Right.
Yeah.
And the voice of the
And
Grinch.
but
then the singer of the Grinch
singer was
some other
Thurl
dude.
Ravenscroft,
Well,
which
there
is
you
one
know
of
him.
the greatest names ever. Thurl Ravenscroft, who also was the voice of Tony the Tiger.
Damn. Yeah, that's right.
Yep. You think about it.
They're great.
Yep.
Yes, you're gonna mean one.
Yep.
Mr.
Same
Tony
dude.
Tiger.
That's right.
Don't touch my lucky charms. So, all right. So they're combining these 3 random. All right. So we have like a Firestorm character.
Yeah, basically,
essentially.
yeah. It takes
with
3
all this
guys to
talent.
make this Fisher King character. Which I don't know a lot about Doctor Who, so I don't. Maybe the Fisher King is like a recurring thing. I don't know.
I
So-
just remember the movie with
yeah.
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams, yeah.
And then it's a beer that you could buy in India.
Is it? See, I never
Yeah.
watched the movie.
Nope,
so
it's
I don't know.
Kingfisher. Something else.
Oh, Kingfisher.
It's
Okay.
not even close. Okay, so we're
So they
we're
flopped
lacking here in the Doctor Who department.
it. Yeah, we don't watch Doctor Who, so sorry. So, but news from the world of James Bond: Spectre set a record by blowing up over 24 million pounds, and that's the British currency, not like the weight of the cars, but 24 million pounds of high-end vehicles.
Damn.
That translates or converts to 36 million in dollars.
What do the guys on Top Gear think about this?
Yeah, that's crazy.
What's their budget for blowing stuff up?
Yeah, that must be like a big, huge car chase that like involved like crowded city streets.
Well, and it's like most likely in not an Aston Martin, but like BMW,
Yeah,
Mercedes,
exactly,
right?
yeah.
Audi.
Well, it says high-end vehicles, so that's a lot of money too.
It certainly is. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, if Daniel Craig hangs it up as Bond after Spectre, the word is that Damian Lewis is the odds-on favorite to take over the role.
Nice.
He plays Marine Sergeant Nicholas Brody in Homeland.
Okay, so they're not going to go with the African American guy that they
That
tapped
was
for
just
Bond,
that was just kind of like fans
And, like-
going, "Hey, he'd do a good job."
and not Ian Fleming, but the newer writer, whoever's on the books
Yeah.
now, was like he's too
He's too
street,
street,
or
yeah.
something. Yeah, that's code.
Yeah.
Racist.
Yeah, exactly.
But the guy from Homeland is brilliant. He's
Yeah.
British already, and we'll have a redheaded Bond.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. We'll have a ginger Bond.
That's right. We'll have a Bond Degaton.
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
Would be.
He won't be a Nazi though.
All right. Well, can't all be perfect.
That'd be
I
the
guess.
difference there. News from Gambit. And this time it's not like losing the director or something like that.
Yeah. Right.
Anna Paquin says she will not be appearing in the Gambit movies.
Why?
Now, Rogue.
As Rogue.
Yeah, that I don't know if we're gonna get Rogue, but it's just not her because they have an ongoing romance in the comics.
Yeah. Right.
So, but she is specifically saying, "Hey, I'm not playing Rogue." So, I don't know if, and of course, if this being the first one, they may not introduce that romance.
Yeah. I mean, they switched up. What's her name? Mystique was a few actresses, right?
Oh, yeah.
It,
Yeah, it
Rebecca
was-
Romaine
it was
Stamos, and then the
It was her
girl
first,
from
and then
Katniss.
Jennifer
Lawrence.
Lawrence. Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
So that's fine. I mean,
Yeah.
it will be
Yeah, I
good.
don't
As long
think
as
it's
she
a
has
problem.
the skunk poof, we're good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll have that. So we'll be all right. And as long as like we're not now missing a director again or something like that.
Yeah.
It'd be nice for them to
Better
announce a new director.
That'd be good.
That'd be good. Because
good.
otherwise, if it's not named pretty soon, they're gonna have to push back.
Yeah.
Yeah, production. I
It's
mean,
kind of an important role
yeah.
in movie making. I
You'd think so, yeah.
I think. Yeah.
News from the X-Files: Robbie Amell confirmed. It was kind of already confirmed that he was going to be in it,
Yeah.
but Robbie Amell confirms that he did a scene with the cigarette smoking man.
Awesome.
So, and the trailer, a trailer was just released with, I think it was in Gotham and something else this past week,
Cool.
and you get a shot. He's still smoking. Because you get that cigarette, the kind of close up of the cigarette, and he says something like we've got a situation here or something other.
Nice.
So he's still the puppet master behind the scenes.
Was it Shield? Did they show it on the Shield premiere?
May have, I don't know.
That's the only other thing that really premiered this week, right?
Yeah, I think it was last week that they actually showed it. Or
okay.
maybe I don't know.
Cool.
But there was two different ones, and the one I could never get to play, but the second one, it's I could get it to play, and that's where you got the shot. I don't know if they were different at all, but you get Mulder is basically, he's retired and he's kind of alienated from Scully, and basically gets pulled back in. I don't know if it's specifically by the smoking man or what.
Okay.
But he's pulled back in, and she kind of goes into her role of like, okay, you need to be careful with this stuff and everything. So I'm really interested to see it.
Maybe it'll get me to watch the old series again.
Yeah.
Just get back into that.
Yeah, it was kind of cool when it went to the end title, and it just goes to X-Files and the music plays. It was just like, okay, yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's gonna be cool to see him. It'll be nice to see what they do with, okay, time has passed, what would happen to him? Because it's always a thing I think about, like when a series ends, where would the character go? What would happen?
What's
to
the
him?
next step?
Yeah, exactly.
Because you've seen some stuff, so I'm sure you got to deal with it.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
not like
Yeah. So
it doesn't roll into Californication. Right?
exactly. Yeah.
For him. Yeah.
Yeah. From Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., we were just speaking about that. I haven't watched the premiere from last night, but we saw another picture of Matthew Willig as Lash, and it looks pretty much exactly the way the comic book does.
Nice.
Looks pretty good. And I did see the first 5 minutes. They released the first 5 minutes of the show on online,
Nice.
and it starts out like in media res is what you call it when you start
Boom,
just
right in the
basically
middle of a
right in the middle
problem.
of a story.
Yeah.
There's a guy who has powers, and he's like, when he touches stuff, it like metal, it melts.
Oh.
But he doesn't know what he's doing. He's touching girders in a building, and like all of a sudden the building starts coming down, and he's freaking out. People are yelling at him like, "What are you doing? Stop it!" And he's like, "I don't know what I'm doing." And all of a sudden, there's a shadowy organization with guns coming after him, and he takes off running, and then Daisy, Sky is calling herself Daisy now.
Mm-hmm.
They come in with S.H.I.E.L.D. agents and extract him and get him out of there before they can get him. It's not said whether that other group is Hydra or what. It's just another organization that's out looking for powers.
Okay.
But they get him out of there, and you get to see the new bus. It's a much bigger, souped up plane.
Nice.
And it's kind of like the helicarrier, because in the wings it has
like little
turbines.
Harrier.
Yeah. So it's like a big jacked up version of a Harrier,
Awesome.
basically.
That's like a C-130 Harrier.
Yeah, basically.
Type
Yeah,
of
it's kind of that
cargo
size. Yeah.
Harrier. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to watching the premiere. So.
And Sky is the hacker.
Yes.
Okay, and
she is now
Daisy.
calling herself Daisy Johnson.
Okay.
Which is what her dad told her name was.
Oh, okay.
She's not referring to herself as Quake yet.
Right.
But
I was gonna say there was another name in there.
Yeah.
All right, it's Quake.
Yeah, at some point, hopefully they will get to that point and just go ahead and call her Quake, because that's her name in the comic, their code name. Yeah. So
Cool.
Pacific Rim, the sequel for that, has been removed from Universal's calendar. unfortunately.
Okay.
Hopefully it will be redated at a later time, but right now it's just been pushed
Bumped.
off. So, yeah.
Yikes.
So no big giant monsters fighting
Damn.
robots.
Looking
You
forward
can't
to
go
that.
wrong there. I mean, giant robots fighting monsters.
Remember we were loving on Robot Jocks?
Yeah.
Right? It was like, let's do that.
Let's just do that.
Come on.
And Blade Runner, Ridley Scott has confirmed. That was one of the cool things about Blade Runner to end. It was left ambiguous to whether Deckard was a replicant or not.
Right. We didn't know.
You don't really know. You
Yeah.
just you can look at the story and kind of make up your own mind. Ridley Scott has confirmed that he is a replicant,
Ooh.
but it's in this sequel. It's like 40, 50 years later, and he's still around.
Oh.
But replicants only live for 4 to 5 years.
So he's done something.
So
to
he's
buck the
either done something,
system.
or maybe he's a special made replicant.
Okay.
So, but that's it was like he said that he was a replicant, and then of course the follow up question in the interview was, okay, well, how is he still around? Oh, well, I'm not going to tell you that.
Yeah.
You have to watch the sequel to find that out. So,
Oh man.
but that's what the sequel will address, that of how he is able to still be around past the lifespan of 4 to 5 years. So,
Well, Wesley Snipes does well in this movie.
Sorry.
Different one. Playing my Blade Runner
Different
joke
one.
again. Sorry. No ninjas, vampire ninjas
Yeah.
in this one.
that would be cool. That would be a good addition to the Blade Runner
They should at least run through. Like, just run through, fight real quick, and then keep going. And then it's just like,
Say, oops,
Cool.
wrong movie. Sorry.
all right. Yeah.
And Batman film producer Michael Uslan. That's just a stab at his name. That's probably not right.
That was good.
Yeah, it sounds good.
You work it.
Yeah, he says that there's big news coming from this year's New York Comic Con. Could this be word of solo Batman?
Awesome. With Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Is he signed? Or did
He
they
is signed.
ask him to sign?
No,
He's signed.
as far as I know, he is signed for, I think, 4.
Good Lord.
Yeah,
Including Batman versus
including
Superman.
Batman versus Superman.
So there'll be another trilogy of some
I think so,
sort.
yeah.
or-
Yeah.
yeah. Or maybe they'll do good to do standalones because, like, I don't know. The trilogies are okay. I mean, they're. Yeah.
Not everything has to be a trilogy. That's what's bugging me. Is like The Hobbit. One book was made into 3 movies. Calm
That didn't
down.
Need to happen.
I didn't need to happen. Yeah,
and they were all 3 hours long.
Yeah,
I mean, each one of them.
It's nuts. You don't have to do that. Split into 2, maybe, but I mean, you don't have to do 3. It doesn't have to be a trilogy.
I hear you, but I got to tell you, I loved every second of The Hobbit.
Yeah,
I was just good. I was like, I wanted more, So I hear you. I hear you. It was
Or
just-
the quadruple-G, or whatever you call
Totally.
that.
yeah.
What would that be? A
Quadrille.
quadrille?
Quadrille.
I don't know.
That's probably why we don't have them.
Yeah, somebody knows how to pronounce it. So.
Because like Friday the 13th was like, we're doing a fifth.
Twins,
Yeah, we're
yeah,
gonna do a
we're doing-
fifth.
yeah, we're
We'll have a
keeping-
quindrily.
We're still going. Also, screenwriter Adam Alika has a pitch.
Good.
Now, this doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen, but he has a pitch for doing Nightfall in Graham Nolan's Dark Knight universe.
That's awesome.
In his pitch, basically, you ignore Dark Knight Rises. It kind of like picks up at the end of Dark Knight and goes with he still uses Bane
Mm-hmm.
in the Nightfall, and basically does Nightfall to kind of go over what Dark Knight Rises did. It sounds intriguing, but again, it's just some dude saying, "Hey, let's make this movie." Doesn't mean it's going to happen. It's just
Yeah, it's a good idea.
yeah, it's a decent idea.
Is this Christopher Nolan? Isn't that his name? Or is Graham Nolan?
What I put? I put Grant. Yeah, it's Christopher Nolan.
Is it
Sorry.
Christopher Nolan? Okay,
Yeah.
I was just like, wow, does he have a brother? Like, is this like the Wachowski brothers? Awesome. All great trilogies have to have bros on them.
There you go. Yeah. So yeah, it's
Well, that's
again,
cool. So we'll have Azrael and the
yeah, it would lead
super
to
backbreaking scene.
Asbat. Yeah. Although I don't know, they haven't introduced in that universe. They haven't introduced Robin, so you can't have Nightwing, and then you wouldn't have Jean-Paul Valley, who was Azrael. That becomes so you'd have to. There's a lot that you'd have to do
build up. Yeah.
just to set it all up. So I don't. And again, it's just some dude on a podcast saying, "Hey, here's an idea," launching this
those
out.
dudes with their podcasts.
I know, they're
tell
crazy.
you what, no journalistic integrity whatsoever. Research, what's that?
But Robbie Amell, who is, I guess he's
going to be a superhero forever.
That's what I was about to say. He just wants to jump from one geek project to another. He says he wants to play Batman Beyond. Terry McGinnis.
Terry McGinnis.
Yeah.
Cool.
From Batman Beyond.
He could do it.
Oh,
He
yeah.
could be a Terry McGinnis.
I think
it'd be great.
I think it would be great. Because it's a different story. It wouldn't necessarily have to be part of the canon
The larger
universe.
yeah.
Yeah. Just make it outside because it's a future timeline.
Yeah.
So it could be done.
It'd be
So,
interesting if they did his death as well. Like,
Yeah.
keep it self-contained.
Yeah, yeah. And Batman vs. Superman has its rating now. It's rated PG-13.
Oh, man. So many bar mitzvah kids are going to be like,
I know, they're bummed out. Yeah. So, hey. Well, you kind of figured it would because Man of Steel was PG-13, wasn't it?
Well, I'm glad. It was rough.
Yeah, it was a little rough.
There's
Yeah.
more than cartoon violence in that one.
Exactly, and that's what it was listed as excessive
Ninja?
excessive cartoon violence and or not cartoon violence,
Gratuitous
but
ninja?
gratuitous ninja, yeah, and some sensuality. So that'll be interesting where
probably
that comes
Wonder
from.
Woman.
Maybe I don't
Probably
know.
the suits. Yeah, maybe.
Maybe yeah, but it's going to be PG-13. So
Risky.
that's right. Yep.
Yeah. I'll have a large popcorn, please.
And Drake Bell, if you've ever watched Nickelodeon from Josh and Drake fame, he also does the voice for Spider-Man on a lot of different animated series.
Oh, cool.
In an interview, he said that he wants to play Invincible.
Oh, you're
I am all for it. Yeah, because they were talking to him about the Spider-Man being cast for Spider-Man in the movie, and he said they wanted somebody younger. He said I'm kind of a little too old for that now.
Yeah.
He missed the opportunity. He said, but they need to, and this is a direct quote from him. They need to make an Invincible movie or TV show. They need to do it so badly, and I need to play Invincible. So,
but he'd play him older, right? He'd be full grown, and he wouldn't be the kid.
Yeah, but he still looks pretty young, so it's not like it'd be a stretch for him to play like a 17, 18-year-old kid.
That'd be cool.
That would be really cool. And it's Robert Kirkman, so it's not like he is unfamiliar with turning his projects into on-air stuff.
But we'd need a Walking Dead movie first, I think, before. Yeah. I know they want to milk that for.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Every piece of zombie they can.
As long as it's still making money, they're gonna milk it. So.
Yeah.
And the Titans show, we've talked about that before.
Yeah.
That there's a Teen Titans show in development at TNT, but I haven't heard anything. I think actually a couple of weeks ago we were talking about we needed to check up on it and see. It is still in development. It's still an active property. It just hasn't been
set dates or details.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's still an active project.
I can't wait to see how they plug into it.
Yeah, that'd be really good. I'm looking forward to that.
Because they got to be careful. I mean, there might be a few characters that make its way into the Flower universe, the Supergirl universe, right? I mean, it could. We'll have to see.
Yeah, yeah. But Ghostbusters also, we were talking about last week, the only two holdouts of the original main cast that weren't doing cameos in the new one were Rick Moranis and Sigourney Weaver. Now it's just Rick Moranis.
All right.
So, and they were trying to keep that one a secret, but the director, I think it's Paul. Is it Paul Feige that's directing it? Yeah. Okay. He basically said it was getting ready to get leaked out, so I just wanted to get ahead of it and announce it. And he tweeted out that she's going to be making a cameo.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So we got the gatekeeper, but no keymaster.
We need the keymaster of Gozer. Yeah. He's got to be in it too. I mean, come on. That's you've got everybody except for him. So maybe, like I said, they were trying to keep that one a secret. Maybe it's they're just keeping that one.
No Moranis, only Zool.
That's awesome.
All right, they're gonna have to. If he holds out, then
I don't see him holding out.
It'd be Honey, I Shrunk My Career.
Yeah, what the hell's he doing?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
It's not like his career's lighting up the world. So, but they're also working on a new TV series for the A-Team.
I love when a plan comes together.
That's right. That is it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be great, but it's also gonna be interesting with the casting.
I've
because
Hannibal's that guy's dead, isn't he?
oh, I'm sure.
Guy who plays Hannibal, yeah. And
I'm sure it won't be the original cast.
well,
you
they
know.
have to make it a cameo. I'm sure Mr. T.
Yeah.
will.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mr. T would be.
Is Dirk Benedict still alive?
I think so.
Yeah, right. Face
Yeah.
and then Murdoch, I suppose. I don't know. I haven't heard
He
anything
was
from him in years.
Dwight Schultz, I think was his name.
Yeah.
George Papard was
Was
Hannibal. And yeah, I'm pretty sure he's passed away.
Too many cigars.
Mr. T is WWE Hall of Famer. It was so funny. His
B.A. Baracus.
his induction at the Hall of Fame, it was on Mother's Day, and he just went on and on. I love my mama because she did this, and that, and it was no kidding, like a 20-minute speech, way longer than he was supposed to be.
Oh,
To where they sent out like Triple H to go, all right, come on, you got to go. Come on, you're going too long. But it was all about his mom. It was so crazy.
Oh.
It was nuts. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see who they cast. I mean, because it's a very known property. The movie did you watch the movie?
I tried to. I couldn't
Yeah,
get
it
into
just-
it. Bradley Cooper, right, was Face,
Yeah.
wasn't he? Yeah.
Bradley Cooper and then Rampage Jackson, the MMA fighter, was
Who was he? Was
BA.
B.A.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, well, I mean, Rampage as an actor, he makes a great fighter. I mean, it's just so yeah. I just don't think it. And Liam Neeson was Hannibal, wasn't he?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, you're bringing back. I'm bringing back all these bad
Reminded me.
memories.
When he said
So.
something about midi-chlorians, I was like, we're done. We're
We're
so
outta here.
done.
That's it. I pity the fool.
Force push him out of the plane.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting. At least it's coming back as a TV series.
Good. Yeah, another movie I
th-
couldn't commit to.
Yeah, we couldn't deal with that. And the Prometheus 2 sequel
Mm.
will be officially called Alien Paradise Lost. So
Cool.
they're officially connecting the two. And I think that'll help a lot because when Prometheus came out, I was like, okay, is that aliens? Is it? What
Yeah,
is
I
it?
didn't even
I
know
mean,
it had anything to do with aliens
Exactly.
until I saw some of this, and I was like, that looks a lot like aliens. Did they know that? And I was
Yeah.
like, and then
Yeah.
I read that it was in fact connected.
It's like a prequel. Yeah.
And then I was like, why is young Magneto in this movie?
See, now it's an X-Men crossover too.
It really with aliens. Yeah.
So yeah, they will. So this will connect it in officially to Alien Paradise Lost. So, but if I remember, I may be wrong, but when at the beginning of Alien, when they found that crash, I think that was supposed to be the Prometheus.
I think you're right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I
That
think we'll check
Crash
it out.
spaceship.
Right.
I had that when I was a kid. I had that.
Playset.
No, the book, the little paperback movie tie-in. I wasn't old enough to watch the movie, but I got the paperback and I was able to read until I was old enough to watch the movie. I was able to
Seriously?
read the book. Yeah,
Oh, I bet
Yeah.
you got a lot more information out
I
of the
did.
book
Yeah, exactly.
than in the movie.
So, and Amazon has given Jack Ryan, I've completely blanked on Tom Clancy,
Mhm.
which has been played by
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford, Alec Baldwin,
And Ben
Chris
Affleck?
Pine.
Was it
Ben Affleck was Some of Our Fears. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
been played by a bunch of different people in movies. Amazon is now doing a TV series. It'll be Amazon Prime
Oh, cool.
original series. No word on who's going to play him,
Mhm.
but the last person to play him on film was Chris Pine.
Oh,
So
awesome.
hey, if he's connected, that would be huge.
That'd be major.
Yeah, that would be a big deal. I doubt he will be, but he's a little busy doing movies. But
And we were talking about Harrison Ford weeks ago about how he sort of defined these characters. Jack Ryan, we can
Mhm.
add to that list, and then The Fugitive, right? He was also The Fugitive too.
Yep.
So it's like, man, that guy's been everybody. I
yeah,
mean,
he's been a
it's-
lot of different characters. So
Yeah, absolutely crazy.
yeah. But all right, that's going to wrap up our movie and TV news. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to take a spin of the comic rack.
Our hailing frequencies are always open. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Just search Ninja Troll Digicast or drop us an email at ninjatroll@digitaltuxedo.com.
Ranger Station, Ranger speaking.
Hi. I'd like to report a bear hug.
Okay.
Well, before I left my campsite, I was putting out my fire, and out of nowhere, Smokey Bear showed up and hugged me?
So you drowned the fire, you stirred it, drowned it again, and felt that it was cold?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. He likes it when people correctly put out their campfires. He's pretty big on wildfire prevention. He's just letting you know you did good with a hug. He's a hugger.
I just got a bear hug from Smokey Bear. Status update!
All right, I'm going to let you go now. I've got a lot of ranger stuff to do. There are many ways to start a fire, but one sure way to put it out. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
Your weekly dose of the Ninja Troll Digicast.
All right, welcome back to the Ninja Troll Digicast, and apparently I'm being shanghaied here. I thought we were going to take a spin of the comic rack. But
We are not. We're going to spin your brain right now, Timmy D. Yes. Okay, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Timothy Degaton here, also known as Timmy D,
Per Degaton.
is an abyss of comic book science fiction knowledge. So we're going to put that to the test. And today we're going to do a little primer test. And I'm going to ask you some questions. You'll have 2 minutes on the clock here. Okay. That we're going to go.
Lightning round.
It's quite the lightning round. You may not Google that shit.
Okay.
Okay. So it's just what you got in your brain right now.
Okay.
Okay. And it's a mixture.
I'm
A
so
whole bunch of
frightened.
stuff.
I am so frightened right now.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Just don't mess it up because
Oh, yeah.
it's just you and me. Don't worry. Nobody's listening.
Oh,
so you're,
no.
You're all good. Okay. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay. What is the name of Superman's dog?
Crypto.
Excellent. In the 52 series, which you just read,
Mm-hmm.
what was the name of Black Adam's wife?
Her original name or what he made her into?
What he made her into.
Isis.
Brilliant. Okay. What did Daredevil's dad do?
He was a boxer.
All right. Okay. Here's one. What is the name of the indestructible metal used in Wonder Woman's bracelets and tiara?
Feminine?
Yes. Wow.
Yes!
Timmy D. You're killing it. Okay.
I just thought it was hilarious because it was called Feminine.
Yeah. Feminimium was
Feminimium,
would have
yeah,
been
exactly,
second
yeah.
choice. Okay. Which of the following is not a DC villain?
Oh, boy.
Calendar Man,
He is.
Clock King,
He is.
Kronos, and Swiss Army Man.
Swiss Army Man. That was
Yeah.
kind of that was a softball right there.
Okay, man, let's take this hill, but first, let's pop the Chardonnay. Okay. Okay. Who is the real, or not the, who is the killer of Thomas and Martha Wayne?
In what iteration?
Oh, yeah, I knew you'd go there.
Come on, man.
The original. Who is
Joe
the-
Chill.
Yes, Cool Joe.
Oh, Cool Joe.
I think so. Or no,
No,
it's
it
Joe
was
Chill.
Joe Chill, yeah.
All right, you're
Yeah.
the Batman one. expert
Exactly,
here.
yeah.
Yeah. What is the name of Wonder Woman's mother?
Hippolyta.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Alan Scott, our first Green Lantern,
Mm-hmm.
first appeared in what comic series?
He was in. Oh, you may have gotten me on this one.
Yes.
Was it All Star Comics?
No, All American Comics.
All American Comics.
You close,
It was
though.
all something.
That's pretty good. What was the name of the excuse me. We just ran out of time, but we're going to do this
Okay.
quick in here. And you got one lightning round. What was the name of the school bully who tormented teenage Clark Kent?
That one I don't know.
All right. It was Bash Bashford.
Now that's a name right there.
Superboy
Bash.
157. Yep. When was the first Batman movie released? What year?
The serials? Like the serial movies?
First?
1943.
You could say, damn.
And there was another one in 1947.
That's right. Yep. Batman Forever.
And they had the worst ears.
Yeah.
If you look,
Doink. Yeah.
they're made out of wool and they never stand up. It's horrible.
Yeah. Costuming was optional.
Yeah, exactly.
What is Bruce Wayne's birthday?
Oh, wow. I don't know. That's one Batman bit of trivia you get me on.
All right. February 19th.
February 19th.
Yep.
Okay. I'll never forget that now.
Okay. All right. Okay, you did pretty good. You want to just go through them all? Let's go through them all.
Sure. What?
Let's see. Yeah.
Go for it.
What's the name of Mr. Freeze's wife?
Oh, wow.
ladies and gentlemen.
This
He's
is gonna
panicking.
hurt.
Yeah, he's like,
This is gonna hurt.
I can see the knowledge
Was
moving
it-
across his skull.
Is it Anna? Yeah, what was
Is that
it?
your final answer?
Yeah.
Nora.
Nora.
Fries.
Dang.
Yes.
I can see him talking to her. Like in the
Yes.
animated series, he would talk to her.
Right, and like touch the glass,
Yeah,
and
and I
she'd just be like cold and
Yeah.
yes.
Why so cold?
Okay, 2 more.
Okay.
The Black Panther, T'Challa,
Mhm.
has a degree in what, and from what university?
It's a complete guess. I'm gonna say chemistry.
Close.
Okay.
And you know the university?
Columbia. I don't know.
Stanford, Cambridge,
Okay.
Oxford, or Harvard?
Jeez. I would say Oxford.
Oh, you got that right.
Yeah.
Yep. But it's in physics.
It's in physics. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I know he's a genius. I mean, but yeah, I just didn't. I never read Black Panther, so.
Sorry how to fight ruined your Black Panther
I know,
party.
yeah, that's the best part.
All right, here's the last one.
Okay.
Okay. So it's a 2-parter.
Okay.
So the acronym, what was the original acronym? What did it stand for SHIELD?
Okay. Strategic. The original. This may have
Original.
changed.
There's 3.
Strategic. It wasn't Homeland. Like that's what it is now, but. Crap. I don't. I know what it stands for now. It's the Strategic Homeland Intelligence. Or no, wait a minute. Now I'm forgetting. I don't know.
You just stepping over this one. These bowling shoes don't fit you.
Yeah.
All right. So it's been 3 things.
Okay.
First one was Supreme Headquarters International Espionage Law Enforcement Division.
Okay.
And then for a long time, and then in 1991, it became the Strategic Hazard Intervention Espionage Logistics Directorate. You gotta have one of those.
We really want this to spell out SHIELD.
They really do. Yeah. Because the Strategic Homeland Intelligence
Yeah.
team just didn't do well. And then
Doesn't work as well.
in the MCU, it is the Strategic Homeland Intervention Enforcement and Logistics Division.
Yeah.
Okay, so Timmy, you got like an 82 on this test.
Eh.
Okay, so you did really well. I'm thoroughly impressed. I was like, all right, what do I know? Timmy will get instantly, and then what do I not know? We may have a shot there. Okay. So this will come up again. We will have
Okay.
pop quizzes like this every so often,
Awesome.
and sometimes it may even be on the things that you've already talked about. Just to see
to see if I remember it.
that you're not just reading your news, and that you are in fact a journalist.
I'm so jazzed that I knew the Wonder Woman's.
I'm jazzed about that.
That I don't remember where I read that, but I just thought it was the reason it stuck in my head. It was hilarious because even the metal has to sound womanly.
has to be
Yeah.
beat down men. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, let's spin the comic rack.
All right. Let's take a spin of the comic rack.
Meanwhile, back at the Cathedral of Wisdom, it's time for the comic rack. Hey, nice rack.
Knock it off, perv.
No, it's the latest news from the enormous world of comics. Right here on the Ninja Troll Digicast.
All right. Now that I'm done being grilled, let's take a spin of the comic rack. First thing, the unbeatable Squirrel Girl.
Yes.
Marvel has released a preview of her new series that starts in October. So I'm not sure exactly when in October it comes out, but I just finished reading the last one of her old series.
Oh, the first number one. Series
the
that
first
came out this year.
series. Yeah, it was. I think issue 8 was where we got to.
Okay.
She was. They had went to Asgard, and her friend Nancy Whitehead, who draws little cartoons of Cat Thor.
Nice.
They met Loki, and just to mess with Thor, he changed his head to a cat. So it was pretty fun.
I'm looking here on Rico Renzi's Instagram. He's at
Is that the new one?
at Who is Rico. This is the True Believers
Okay.
edition, and I think it says here it's selling for $1.
Oh wow!
So if you're not following Rico Renzi, he's the color artist on
Yeah.
Unbeatable Squirrel Girl,
And Spider-Gwen as well.
and Spider-Gwen as well, and Howard the Duck.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I forgot about Howard the Duck. Yeah.
And he's at Who is Rico, and I bet, man, he's going to be flipping out when this thing comes live.
Oh yeah.
They're
It's
gonna be
it's
doing-
so much. Series is so much fun. In this, it was either. I'm reading them like back to back to catch up. It was either this one or issue 7. She beat up the Avengers. Just
Awesome.
Just hey, they were being affected by an Asgardian squirrel. This is actually part of Norse mythology. There's a supposedly a squirrel that runs up and down the world tree, causing mischief and discord.
Oh, interesting.
So they actually pulled that out of mythology and used that.
To weave her into the story.
Yeah, exactly. And
great.
the Avengers were being affected by it, so she had to whoop up on them. So
it was right here on
And
our
she's-
Queens campus here in Charlotte.
she's-
There's squirrels like that.
Oh yeah, we got plenty of those. And she stole Spider-Man's web shooters. So
There you go. That's how you win.
yeah, exactly.
Shut them down.
So then later he had to come back and go, okay, whoever took my web shooters,
Can I have
can I
them
get them back?
That'd be great.
But yeah, she is now part of the new Avengers.
Ah,
So she has like a new costume that has like the Avengers logo on it and everything.
oh, cool.
So it's gonna be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to the new series. It's like I said, it's a lot of fun, and it has at the bottom, it has the bottom of each page has like a little aside from the narrator about
So
like what's going
the
on.
context.
Yeah. It's like a little.
Because she
funny
always
quip.
wins, right? Regardless of whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
she beat Galactus, didn't she?
Yeah.
She was defeated him, right?
Yeah, and Craven the Hunter. The first issue was Craven the Hunter.
Who?
She convinced him to go somewhere else to hunt something. I don't remember what it was. She convinced him to go hunt, but basically convinced him to leave.
Craven.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who would kill you for looking
Exactly.
at
Yeah.
it wrong.
Yeah. Exactly. So, but yeah, this series is a lot of fun. The first page of every issue is like a forum page where like they're posting messages, and you see messages from like Tony Stark, and he's always like, okay, you took my armor. Where's it at? You need to bring that back. And Hulk actually posted on the message board this time. They're having this whole discussion about something, and she was talking about having beat up the Avengers, and Hulk pops on and says, I wasn't there.
So it doesn't count.
Yeah, basically. So, but yeah, I mean, Squirrel Girl,
That sounds
it's a
good.
lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So,
Awesome.
and in Adam Warlock news,
Yeah.
Jim Starling will be writing a new book starring Adam Warlock called The Infinity Entity,
Cool.
which is difficult to say, but
Yeah.
but it will tie Warlock into the ongoing Thanos saga.
Mm.
And the story will conclude in Thanos' Infinity finale.
Wow.
There's a lot of he had
Well, he's a big bad in Secret Wars right now. He survived on that life raft.
yeah he was
So-
one of the ones that came in on the life raft. So
Yeah.
yeah, and he's had an ongoing Infinity. I forget what it's called. Everything is like a variation of Infinity.
Oh,
Just like
they
DC
overdid it.
overuses the word crisis, Marvel overuses the word Infinity. So
It's true. Yeah, it was their breakout series,
Yeah.
right?
yeah, so but that will be coming. I think November. I think it was.
Yeah, I think that's when everybody's dropping.
Yeah. And Mockingbird also gets a new series in the all new, all different Marvel, but they're working on a spin-off of Agents of Shield for Mockingbird,
Oh.
so it makes sense. Marvel's gonna give her a solo series. I think it's her first. It's her first solo series, and it's going to be written by novelist Chelsea Kane. No word on who the artist is quite yet, but
Okay.
hopefully we'll get news on that pretty soon. So
That's cool. She's a cool character.
yeah,
She kicks some butt.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
like the Black Canary in
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Marvel. Yeah.
Yeah, she's. I mean, in the show, it's been awesome as a character. So, and X-Men '92, they did a little series in as
boy.
part of Secret Wars
Yeah.
with like the art looks like the old animated series,
Oh.
and it was really a big success. So they're going to make it into a new ongoing series
Wow.
starting in spring of 2016.
X-Men '92.
Yeah, it was. I don't know how popular it was, but they're very happy with how it went. And it does look, if you look at the artwork, it looks a lot like the old animated series
Yeah.
from the 90s.
Yeah. Right.
So yeah, they're making an ongoing series. I don't know if it's how they're going to do that, whether it's just like separate from the main universe
sure.
or
Yeah.
it would have to be. It would
Yeah.
kind of have to be.
They're doing
Kind of
all
like
this
the Batman
retro stuff.
66.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
stuff
they
like
may
that.
weave in maybe newer things into it.
Yeah.
Perhaps. We'll
Yeah,
see.
it's possible. And the new Power Rangers The new
Yes.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers series will debut in January with issue number 0.
Awesome. With
And of course-
Apocalypse.
And they're going to, yes, Apocalypse is the newest
Yeah. Rangers.
Power Rangers villain. Uh,
Rita has stolen nuclear energy.
and I think they're like the first issue. I don't know if issue 0 is going to do this or whether it's issue 1, but they were talking about having a bunch of different variant covers with the different helmets.
Will that be Free Comic Book Day? Usually Zeros come out on Free Comic Book Day.
No,
don't
it's in January. That's just going to be. This is going to.
Free
Well,
Comic Book
with
Day's when?
0, that's
May?
in May. Yeah,
May.
first Saturday in May. So this is when 0's coming out. I don't think they would wait that long though. I think you're gonna go ahead and hit it.
Cool.
No work. I mean,
I'd pick it up. I mean, I
Oh,
like
yeah.
the Rangers back in the day.
Yeah.
I'm sure a comic book will be better because the effects are always limited.
yeah, exactly. There's only so much you can do on a TV budget, and a half-hour show.
Right.
I mean, you have to have everything
You gotta
set
wrap
up
it up.
and wrap it up quickly.
And they have to like start the day out at school.
Yeah. So then they get beamed over to the giant floating head. What was that dude's name?
Oh, I forget.
Zordon? Was that it?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe
Something like
Yeah,
that.
he had some. Yeah.
It's some weird name.
Digi voice kind of thing
Digivoice,
going on.
yeah.
And then the little robot who was like,
Yeah.
Rangers, Rangers.
The Twiggy.
Yeah.
Beady, beady, beady.
Bitty, bitty, bitty.
Okay,
Buck.
And the Silver Surfer news, Dan Slott and Mike Allred's Silver Surfer will continue with an all-new issue 1 coming in 2016.
Is this the retro-looking Silver Surfer?
Well,
that's out?
it's all red, so he's got like it looks like Madman.
Yeah.
It's got serious.
He's all white. He's not even
he's-
silver.
Yeah, he's
They don't
all
draw him
white
chrome.
and his eyes look
He's got
like a
guy liner.
raccoon.
He's got
It's
guy liner on.
Lots of guy liner.
Totally.
So yeah, but his artwork it's wacky, crazy. The image they
yeah.
put out with this, there's like it's out in space, but there's like a floating Iron Man head, and it was really weird. So I always liked Silver Surfer. It was I don't know. I guess like kind of the nobility. He had that kind of air of nobility about him.
Well, he got fooled, right?
Yeah.
He thought he was saving his planet, but in turn became a puppet.
Yeah,
so,
basically, yeah.
And he was Major in Infinity Gauntlet, right? Remember that like scene where he like streaks across the universe to try and to knock the glove
To
off,
knock the glove off, yeah.
and then
exactly.
Thanos realizes he's coming and
Whoop.
just does one finger, and then
Yeah.
he's like turns into liquid metal or something
yeah,
like that.
Yeah, and that's actually when I picked up reading him. There was it was a crossover in his book, and
Silver Surfer's
own
book.
when
he's
they
had it for a while.
when they all got together at Avengers Mansion to try and decide what they were going to do.
Yeah.
Like the regular series were kind of like, oh, he takes a walk. So issue number like 18 of his series was when he walked
that
out of the
looked
room.
like.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
and,
great.
And the Rhino was, terrorizing New York while all this was going on, and basically Silver Surfer's like, okay, I got bigger stuff on my mind. I don't need to deal with you. Knock it off.
Yeah.
Because he's basically just a nuisance. And he just kept on and he kept on, and he finally he charged him. Surfer grabs him by the horn and basically stops him dead right there. And he's holding him with one hand, and he starts charging up his other fist.
Oh, with his cosmic
And it's
blast.
and it's like a 2-page spread of him holding him and getting ready to knock crap out of him. And Rhino's like looking up, going, "Oh boy."
Yeah.
That was one of
This
those
is gonna
panels.
hurt.
Yeah, it's one of those panels that I'll always remember. It was really, really funny. So yeah, I'll be interested to see. I mean, like I said, it does look a lot different with Mike Allred drawing it, but it looks like it's
great.
cool.
It's groovy. Yeah, it's got a real psychedelic feel.
Yeah.
to it.
Oh yeah, definitely. And Moon Knight this spring will bring
heard
us
that
a
name in a
new
while.
Moon Knight series.
Wow.
Which I think they ended the Moon Knight series a while ago.
In the 80s or the 90s, I feel like.
I think he had one recently, but it
really?
ended fairly quickly. Moon Knight's one of those guys who's always been around,
Right.
but hasn't really carried his own book for a long time.
I mean, the 80s, I remember I have a couple old Moon Knights. They
Yeah.
were like 50 cents, a piece. But he's got, he's kind of like Dr. Fate a little bit, right?
Mhm.
He's got powers that come from gods.
Come from a god. Yeah, it's an Egyptian god of Khonshu, I think is the name of it. I forget now
Yeah.
exactly what the connection is. But in this new series, Mark Spector wakes up in a mental institution. How did he get there, or has he been there all along? And this has all been a delusion of his that he has this
he
power.
was a hero, yeah.
Yeah. So it'd be interesting where they go with that and what they do with it, because it's like I said, it's a decent character. It's just I don't know if they've ever really caught the lightning in the bottle to carry his own series.
Yeah, I mean he's cool, but I've never been like, wow.
Yeah, I've got to read that Moon Knight story.
Nope.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep, nope.
Well, let's see if maybe they could do it this time. That'd be cool.
Could be, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm digging Dr. Fate. I was not a fan of his back in the day, so now maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. And the Uncanny Inhumans, both Black Bolt and Human Torch, will get new looks for the new series designed by artist Stephen McNiven. There's no blue. They consciously wanted to get away from the Fantastic Four for Johnny. So there's no blue in his outfit at all. Wow. It's like a black suit with like the chest is trimmed out with yellow, and there's like a little flame icon in the middle of his chest.
Torch.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then Black Bolt, it looks very similar to his old outfit, but it's adding almost kind of like a wing thing to his arms.
Didn't he have wings on his?
Did he?
Yeah, his armpits. Black Bolt's always had that.
Then it may not be much change at all for him.
So have they showed this as a new Black Bolt costume? Let's see.
Yeah, he does have the little.
I mean, in the past, yeah, he's had the.
Okay, so yeah, they seem like they're a little longer.
Is this it?
No, that's not it.
Oh, wow.
That it seems like the picture I saw, they're a little longer now. But yeah, it does seem a lot similar to what you're bringing up there. So it was.
Cool.
There's maybe not a huge amount of change for Black Bolt, but maybe just a little bit. But
nice.
I think the biggest change is Johnny, because they want to get him away from his Fantastic Four outfit and make it, because he's now
dissing that hard.
He's now with dating Medusa.
Oh, the Inhuman.
Yeah. So that's why he's involved in the Inhuman series. So
cool.
And the Independence Day sequel, Independence Day Resurgence, Titan Comics will publish a comic book prequel to the sequel coming up. I think it's starting next year. So that will be your bridge, just like Shattered Empire for Star Wars. This will be your bridge between what happened in the first movie and what happened after
to the next one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I liked Independence Day.
Oh yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
But it's going to be interesting with Will Smith not involved at all.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I guess so. Right, we're going to need another lovable, great hero who's going to really do it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they can get, whether they make it more of a ensemble piece or whether they're going to be, because I mean it was an ensemble piece, but I think the main part was hung on him.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Yes, he was the whole crux of it.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll do like Simon Pegg, like Shaun of the Dead, but they'll do like Plan 9.5 from outer space.
That would be awesome.
Plan B from outer space.
Plan B, yeah. There's a new series coming up called Titan Hunt. It is a series that is coming that shows the connection between the Wolfman and Perez classic New Teen Titans to the post Flashpoint DC. Well, I guess you just say the New 52.
Yeah,
it's coming out of Convergence, so we'll have that classic iteration of the Teen Titans and see how that integrates into the New 52, because there's a whole different group of Titans now, and actually now they're split again. I'm catching up, so I was just reading the other day. They've split into two groups. One's the Titans, who are led by Red Robin, that support and are trying to save and exonerate Superboy, because he's being accused of murder, and they're trying to exonerate him. And there's another group that are calling themselves the Elite, who are going with Manchester Black, who's part of Cadmus, who's basically stringing them along and just pulling their strings, being like the puppet master, making them do what they want. so he can control them, and chain smokes constantly. It's been so long since you actually see a comic book character
Still
smoke.
smoking. Yeah.
And yeah, it's constantly he's lighting one up. It's all the time.
Wow.
So I'm surprised they haven't, like, one of the characters hasn't addressed that.
Said something like, you
dude,
should
you
start
need to
vaping, man.
You need to knock it off.
I'll tell you what, I'm ignorant to this Titans world. You know.
Oh, I love the Titans.
Let's put it on the list for showcases.
Oh,
'cause,
I love that. Yeah.
I'd love to know like how they formed, the
Yeah.
iterations, the Wolfman Perez era. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
because there was Titans before Wolfman
There was
Perez.
Titans before, and it didn't really catch on. And then when Wolfman and Perez kicked it off again in the '80s, that's when it really took off.
I wonder what
And
the
you-
magic was. Yeah.
Them. It
Them,
was just,
yeah.
yeah.
New voice, the voices, great
yeah,
writing, great art.
exactly. And they introduced Deathstroke as their villain, and it was again
great,
incredible villain.
Yeah.
And he has 2 children. Both have now actually become part of the Titans, and so they're fighting against their father. And he was just a ruthless bastard.
Wow.
He would tear
Slade's
him.
kids.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So yeah, it's you had the Ravager, which she showed up on Arrow.
Oh.
Rose Wilson.
Oh.
Yeah, and she had a variation of his costume, which Ravager does in the comics. And that's the thing. Sometimes she's with her dad, sometimes she's not.
It's true. I've seen a female Deathstroke before,
Yeah.
and I thought, oh, was that just some cosplay or something? Or
No,
someone's
that's
fan
Ravager.
art?
That's
Oh, wow.
Ravager. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. And then Jericho is his son. I think he has another son too. I don't remember, but Jericho was a Titan. He was mute. He couldn't speak, but he could jump into somebody else's body.
And then
So like
through that.
yeah, he could possess somebody else.
Wow.
So that was his power. He became a Titan. The same issue that Dick Grayson became Nightwing. That's because Deathstroke had kidnapped all of the Titans, and somebody came and said, "Listen, you guys got to." And at the time, Dick hadn't decided what he was going to do.
Yeah.
He'd quit being Robin, but he hadn't become Nightwing yet.
Right.
And so, like, somebody goes, "Listen, Deathstroke's got him. You guys got to do something." So he's like, "Hold on, I got to go change." And he runs upstairs and changes into his Nightwing big popped collar outfit, and he comes back down, and then Jericho, I guess, decides he's going to be a superhero, so he does that, and it's weird to watch him jump from body to body.
They show like a misty,
like he
spirit-like
like
thing
a spirit thing jumps into somebody else's body, and then all of a sudden he's got control, and Slade has a way to stop him. I can't remember exactly how it was he would keep him from doing it. Because he knows what he can do, and he's like he devises a way to not let him do it.
garlic or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, a steak, holy water or something. I don't know.
Brick dust.
But yeah, we'll definitely put that on the list for showcase, because I love
great.
the Titans, so I'd jump all into that one. So
Awesome. So expect a 3-parter.
exactly,
folks.
yeah.
Yep.
When I do my research paper on the Titans. But in Spawn news, the Violator will return in Spawn 256. Which will be written by McFarlane and done by the artist John Boy. So this is not the one that we were talking about last week, where it's McFarlane and Eric Larson.
Right. That's something.
That's another one. Yeah. With this, it'll be interesting to see. The last time we saw Violator, he was stuck in his like regular form. He couldn't morph down into the clown anymore.
Oh, so he's the big nasty.
He's the big nasty
with the
thing.
big teeth
Yeah.
and the funky.
So I'm sure that'll return, because the clown's like his the fan favorite kind of version of him.
Yeah, he looks like a ICP or like a killer clown from outer
big
space.
Fat, nasty looking clown.
Remember that movie, Killer Clowns from Outer Space?
Oh yeah.
With the popcorn gun.
Yes. So it'll be. I'm sure that he will. And McFarlane actually made, when he announced it, he made reference to the last time we saw him. He couldn't morph into the clown anymore. Will he be able to do that now?
Yeah.
So which means, yeah, he will.
Cool. If you brought it up, yeah.
Yeah, he'll bring him back to where he can do that. So
as long as you don't break the internet, we'll enjoy it.
Yeah. So, and Batman news, Jim Lee says that he and Frank Miller may return to the All-Star Batman and Robin series.
Cool.
Which
you showed me earlier.
Exactly. We were talking about it before we started the show. All-Star Batman and Robin is is a series that they did for a while, and it was actually pretty controversial because it was outside of canon, and it's
Some of the panels look pretty racy.
yeah, they're
Yeah,
very
extreme.
racy, and Frank Miller just went all out with the language and the violence when he was writing it. And I mean, it looks. I mean, it's Jim Lee, so it looks
The
phenomenal.
artwork's awesome.
It's
Yeah,
just
awesome.
off the charts. But for one thing, it didn't have. It had a very sporadic schedule. It didn't come out on a steady basis. It just come out here and there, and it was actually rebooted in 2011 under the name Dark Knight Boy Wonder.
What? It's a horrible name.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, but All-Star Batman and Robin doesn't exactly line up with the way this book looks.
Exactly.
And the way it reads. That sounds much more like campy and soft and everything, and this is dark and brooding. And,
Oh yeah, it's very dark and brooding to the point to where, like when, like I was telling you before we started the show, when Dick Grayson watches his parents die, Bruce Wayne, instead of like taking him in and, you know, hey, I know what you're going through. I watched my parents die, yada yada. This was like, all right, you've been drafted into a war, and like he's barking orders at him and stuff. And then when he says, well, who are you to be shouting orders at me? And then he was like, it's become a meme basically. It's like, who do you think I am? I'm the GD Batman. And it's like, it's just nuts. I mean, it's a different departure from the usual Batman that you know.
Nice.
It's even darker and broodier and nastier
than the Genie Batman.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that was really cool.
So yeah, it'll be interesting if they do go back to it. I don't know. I mean, I think from what Jim Lee is saying, that working on Dark Knight 3 is really getting Frank Miller excited about doing comics again, which is a good thing.
Right, because we said last time during his Eisner acceptance that he wasn't looking too good.
Yeah.
So
it didn't seem to be. Yeah.
No, so I mean, this is some energy. So
Yeah,
this is
that's
good.
that's
Yeah,
good.
Let's hope he's well. You know.
Yeah.
It's great to have these projects. I'd hate for it to be
His last
two
projects. Yeah. We don't want that.
No.
But yeah.
No.
But yeah, that may be coming, and it may just be Jim Lee wishful thinking. I don't know. I mean,
I like Jim Lee's wishful thinking.
oh yeah.
He's the king of wishful thinking.
It's true. That was Pet Shop Boys, wasn't it?
No,
Who was it?
you're off the show.
Come on. Who was it?
No,
King of Wishful Thinking.
I have no idea.
It was a song. I'm
yeah,
not kidding
I know,
you.
right? I'm over you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have
It's
to look
there.
that up.
Yeah. You're the king of wishful thinking.
In Black Panther news, the Panther writer who's just been announced for the new series that's going to start soon, Ta-Nehisi
Oh.
Coates, just won the MacArthur Genius Grant,
Awesome.
which is off the charts because it's essentially it is okay. Somebody comes to you and says, okay, we know you do really great things, so here's $1 million so that you don't have to worry about paying rent, you don't have to worry about food, you don't have to worry about, you just create things.
Let's just do it. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It was Newfound Glory, by the way, who's saying
That's
King of Wishful
not.
Thinking.
I don't accept that. That's
Okay.
it does say Newfound Glory, but I don't like that.
Oh.
I thought it was Pet Shop Boys.
Oh, no.
That's
No,
a
it's Go
one-hit
West. That's
Go
who it
West,
is.
okay.
Go West. Pet Shop Boys had, they were British, right? They had the West End Girls.
West End Girls. That's
Yeah.
what I was thinking. Okay.
Oh, Pet Shop Boys.
See, that was back when I was actually in radio and I had to play that. I had to play that crap. So,
Wait,
all
that
right.
was you?
That was me. Yes,
Oh.
I was that
You
velvety
made me
voice.
yeah. It's me, Timmy Degaton.
That's right. All right, that's our spin of the comic rack, and we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to go back to Per Degaton and the Crisis on Earth Prime Part 2,
The Revenge.
The Revenge.
Bobby, my stomach hurts. Oh, I'll give you some of Dad's medicine. It's real strong stuff.
That's a prescription for danger.
Doc,
Never take medicine without a grown-up present. You could do more harm than good.
what should we do?
If you can, wait for your parents. Or if it's serious, ask a neighbor for help.
Hey, Mom's home.
Now you'll get help.
And now we know what to do next time.
And knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe!
Hi, this is Tom Lyle. I'm the artist of such comics as Spider-Man, Batman, Robin, and this is the Ninja Troll Digicast.
All right, welcome back to the Ninja Troll Digicast, and that was our little glimpse into the past with the kind words of Doc from G.I. Joe, because knowing is half the battle.
It is, and Dad's medicine takes on a whole new life now.
Not good.
It's strong stuff.
It's strong stuff, though. It's very strong stuff.
That's right.
All right, now it's time to go back to the misty
I'm
borderlands.
feeling misty.
It is misty. Yeah, it's a misty day. Actually, it's not. It's finally sun shining for the first time in like a week.
Seattle,
so
North Carolina.
It's not misty, but we're going to the misty borderlands to explore the multiverse.
Now it's time to explore the multiverse. On the Ninja Troll Digicast.
All right, this is our segment where we explore the DC Comics multiverse. We started many moons ago with the misty borderland between Earth 1 and Earth 2. We've expanded out. We've now found a whole lot more Earths. It's actually too many now to list all the different ones we've visited.
We're gonna list them.
Well, yeah,
we're gonna do the
small summary. We can't do that.
I guess the what students call a crisis of studying, right? We're gonna have a
it's our cram session.
Yeah. Crisis on Infinite tests.
Yes.
Before we do the Crisis on Infinite Earth story.
Yes.
And of course, this all sort of spawned out of I had read Crisis on Infinite Earths, and then I became interested in Convergence, and then I had no idea what was going on. So Timmy was like, "Hey, if you want to know all this, go back in time and read some of the stories." And how many have we done so far?
I think it's like 8 weeks we've done this.
Yeah, I think.
It's been quite a while. We've run across a bunch of different Earths. Like I said, it was first off was the Flash of Two Worlds, which is we're getting ready to do on the TV show. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, Earth 1 and Earth 2.
Earth 1 and Earth 2, where Earth 2 is the world of the Golden Age Justice Society, the heroes that were around in the 40s. That's where you start off. Then you get exposed to Earth 3, which is the crime syndicate. Then, as DC bought different companies, they folded those people in and gave them their own Earth as well.
And that's the literary device, right? It seems like to have all those things mesh and flow and have characters interact, DC has constructed this multiverse concept, which really is a practical thing to just get all these heroes into one, to explain it. How do we explain it, right? They can't all live on one planet. It'd be too much. So to have it where they're separated by these different things is quite interesting. So why don't we jump into it? Because this is a two-parter.
This is part 2 of the one we're tackling here, Crisis on Earth Prime, was the first time we had crossed over out of the Justice League book.
Right.
We included not only did we have the Justice Society as a visitor into this story, but we also had the All-Star Squadron.
That's right.
And it went over into the All-Star Squadron book, and it was 5 different issues?
It was 5 issues.
Yes.
3 JLA and 2 All-Star Squadron.
Yeah, so this was a really big story.
Yeah, and All-Star Squadron, we didn't mention it, they're a Golden Age team, right? They're definitely a 40s super team.
They're from Earth, so they're from Earth 2.
And they are from Earth 2 as well. So, all right, let's jump into it. We're on book 3, and let's see here. So previously, right, we'll do a quick recap. Our big baddie is Per Degaton, and he's a little science-y fascist man, as we're learning. What's that?
He's a ginger.
He's a ginger, yeah. So he's become the Fuhrer on Earth 2 by traveling to Earth Prime in the 60s to steal the Cuban missiles before the Cuban Missile Crisis. And then he brings them back to World War II era on Earth 2. And uses them to basically become the supreme leader of the world. Now, also, we see the crime syndicate pull a transmatter cube switcheroo and attempt to imprison the JSA in their limbo prison, which long ago, when we read Crisis on Earth 3 back in the 60s, right? It was 20 years ago story. In publication time.
In publication time, yeah.
So they we have our JSA folks who are stuck in the misty borderlands in the limbo with all the signs, and essentially because there's no magicians and cosmic power wielders in the crime syndicate, Dr. Fate and what's his name, Starman, are able to break out of this prison.
Yeah.
And get them now.
It wasn't designed to hold their level of power out.
Just the crime syndicate.
It was just the crime syndicate, which essentially, it boils down to if Ultraman could punch out of it, that's, they needed to.
Or Superwoman.
Yeah.
Or a power ring, or Johnny Quick. Could he vibrate out of it?
Yeah, they just needed to keep them from getting out. It was, like you said, it wasn't a magic user or the cosmic rod. You can't stop that.
No one shall wield.
That's right.
So they escape out of there, and then they find themselves transported. They know kind of what's going on, but they go to Earth Prime in 1982, and they basically see that Earth Prime is wiped out, right? And we're led to believe that because the missiles went missing, both the Soviets, Khrushchev and JFK, hit the buttons and then just annihilated the Earth. And the JSA is flying over this ruined world, and they're like, whoa, what's going on? They're starting to slowly realize what's going on. And on Earth Prime, the important thing to remember is that superheroes don't exist. They are fictional characters
Earth Prime
in comic books.
Is essentially what you would call our world,
right?
Where comic books are where the superheroes are,
right? Where DC Comics would be.
Yeah.
So we get this really cool reversal story that we now see the other side of it in this book 3, and then this is in Justice League 208 from November of that year, and we get that reversal surprise meeting on Earth 2 in 1942, and the Justice League of America and the All-Star Squadron start to get into it, and they start scrapping.
Yeah.
And they have a little bit of a scuffle. You'll see there's some fun stuff. And Commander Steel and Johnny Quick are two characters who are, pretty strong. And then Firebrand, she's pretty cool too. She sort of absorbs heat energy. And they're up against Hawkman, Zatanna, Aquaman, and who else? And Firestorm.
Superman.
No, and they got Firestorm.
There's Firestorm.
Yeah.
But Superman's in there too.
Yeah, he is. There he is.
There he is. Okay.
Absolutely. And then Robot Man is on the All-Star Squadron. He's kind of a cool
he's a robot, but he has a human brain.
Right.
So he's technically a cyborg.
That's true.
That's true.
He is.
Like RoboCop.
So they fight, and then Superman lets out a super scream of "Stop it!" And then Robot Man,
he's like a mom. He can just yell "Stop it" at the top of his lungs.
And he's licking his thumb,
everybody,
and wiping dirt off your face, super dirt. Oh man, there's this scene here where they start explaining what's going on, and gosh, it's like Johnny Quick is the most sexist dude ever.
Yeah.
Because Liberty Bell is like 1982, right? Because Superman says we're from the year 1982.
Yeah.
But that's 40 years from now. You're from the future. And then he says, quiet, Libby. For Pete's sake, let the man talk. Like, come on. That's a good question. Like, don't do that, Johnny. Johnny.
Quick.
So he's sexist. He wins the award for this issue. So just to sort of summarize really quick, so we have the Justice League and the All-Star Squadron in Earth 2, 1942. They're telling now the story of Degaton, right? How he changed history and rose to supreme world power in the Earth 2 environment by stealing weapons and technology from Earth Prime that doesn't have superheroes. And then FDR calls.
Yep.
And they go to the White House. That's pretty awesome. So somehow this magic VCR, which you'll see in a page, was delivered, and it's like a video projection screen that Degaton mailed them, and that a special message is going to come at a specific time.
It's like a two-way thing, though, because they talked
learned
to him.
That. Yeah, he's like, I will not be interrupted by costume people. And there's supposed to be this special message coming through this device, and we learned that it's going to go to all of the leaders of all of the world. So it's not just to the Americans, right? Everybody is to
So he's
bow.
Dr. Evil.
He absolutely is. I hope he asked for more than $1 million.
$1 million.
Yeah. And it's great. It's because he says to FDR, like, hey, I know you have Oppenheimer and all these folks working on this same technology, which I already have. So if you want to keep doing that, you'll be dead, and then I'll win.
Because he is originally from 47,
Right.
So he knows, he's already been through this.
Right. He understands that the war is over.
Yeah.
But yeah, he knows now he can go get this great technology from the 60s. And we see that unfold in a nice way a little later on. But then there's a lot of these little jumps here. On Earth Prime in 1982, the JSA continues to survey a desolate post-apocalyptic world, only to discover a race of oily and nasty-looking humanoids who are just basically afraid that they're going to steal their shelter.
The time machine. This is the Morlocks.
Oh yeah, I guess that's totally true.
They're subterranean dwellers.
Look at you picking up on all these clues.
Yeah.
Where would we be without you, Timmy D?
I love that movie.
Timmy Degaton. Yeah.
Timmy Degaton, yes.
Yeah. So Huntress hears one of them describe this person called the Mad One. He's insane. So they actually find out where this guy is. He's an old dude, and he's a human. They haven't found any humans yet except for this guy.
These mutated ones.
Right. And Dr. Fate reads his mind because the guy's blind and can't really he can only tell them the story.
Now, was this guy anybody like we should know, or is just
he's
some
just
dude?
Special for Earth Prime? He's not anybody major. He's not a superhero.
Okay.
Because there's no supers on this planet.
Yeah. So but it's just some guy. Because he said something about he was a maintenance engineer. Yeah.
Right. He got locked in there during the bombs, and like his crime is, or his penance is to survive all this.
Yeah. Okay.
To tell the story. But Dr. Fate reads his mind and then magically puts it on that television.
Projects it into a TV, which is a pretty cool trick.
Wonderful magic. And it's crazy. So everything got destroyed shortly after the 60s. After the Cuban Missile Crisis, everything just went to hell, and you can see they're all shocked. There's a lot of shocked faces in this this book. It's pretty cool. But you see like JFK and Nikita Khrushchev like accuse each other of war crimes.
Yeah, because I mean the missiles
are
that
missing.
Were there for the Cuban Missile Crisis are just gone now.
Right.
And
he thinks he stole them.
Yeah, they're accusing us of stealing them, and we're saying, okay, you've just moved them to somewhere we don't know about, so where the hell are they?
Right.
So it sounds like a good thing to just take the missiles out of the Cuban Missile Crisis, but that escalates things to where they go.
Right.
So it caused issues.
It's funny. It's like this is like almost the X-Men First Class story. Like they have that, but that's World War II. Or is it the 60s? Is it the Cuban Missile Crisis?
I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Because they're there to stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Because the Russians are like,
mm-hmm.
oh my God, there is a man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who is on fire. So we're starting to see now that like what's going on Earth 2 is affecting Earth Prime. And that they're worried now. Well, how will it affect the other Earths? Could that chain reaction sort of go from one to the other and all that good stuff? So that's a cool thing to ponder. So now we're sort of in a place where Perdegaton is going to demonstrate his missiles, and this is back in the 40s, and he does, and that's where his face shows up in the cloud, like it's on the Perez
cloud
cover, right?
What I want to know is why Superman couldn't stop the missile.
They just sort of went with that. They were like,
they
he's about to show up.
I hear it coming, but it's like that's what you do, man. It's Superman.
They get to that. They do. They deal with the missiles a little later on. So he does this, and it's wonderful. But here's what's important, and I think why they did this. If you notice, Zatanna is like sort of raising the waters and all this stuff and everything and trying to sort of save everything. But when the bomb blows up, it actually acts as like a little time jump. And in that bubble...
that rips open. And that's when the JSA is able to come back in.
Exactly. And then all three teams are now together.
Okay.
In 42 on Earth 2 to deal with Perdegaton.
Okay.
So that was, I think, why that happened.
Okay.
And then Perdegaton, celebrates and says, "This was great. We've shown them now what we can do. We have a dozen more missiles, so this is wonderful." And on to the next issue. All right, now we do the jump to another All-Star Squadron comic from JLA.
Except for the one little part where Firestorm is watching Power Girl as she's passed out.
Oh,
like kind of creepily.
that unfolds later.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
I know it's
that's,
creepy now, but
it's-
just
yeah.
you wait. Just you wait.
But wait, there's
it's
more.
budding. It's a budding romance. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, they see each other once a year.
You know,
do
a guy
what you
can
gotta do,
dream,
man.
I suppose. Yeah. So this is All-Star Squadron number 15. It's October of that year. Adrian Gonzalez and Jerry Ordway, right, are our artists. So definitely cool, different style, which is kind of nice.
Cover by Joe Kubert.
Joe Kubert, right? So another big
With
player.
Ultraman knocking the crap out of Superman.
Yeah. When the Crime Syndicate comes back, it's fun.
Yeah.
So now we have all 15 heroes from all three teams together in 1942 on Earth 2 on the deck of a British warship.
Hello.
And they're mopping over in the right. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like gawking at like.
You got to swab the deck.
Yeah, you got to swab the deck. After just witnessing the nuclear explosion of a 1962 ICBM, Russian ICBM. So that's, they're all smiling, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So Commander Steele, who's the leader of the All-Star Squadron, says, "Hey, how did we all get here anyway? What's this sort of all about?" Good prompter.
That's again like I was
Sounding
saying.
board, right?
You always have to like back then you didn't have the internet to look up and go, hey, what happened in the last issue?
Right.
So you had to explain it for people. So at the beginning, if it was a continued book, at the beginning you would get like a page, maybe a page and a half of what happened last time.
Right. Previously.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this kicks off now to get us into the explanation of how all this went down. And what's great is Firestorm and Dr. Fate recount the story. And it's funny because like it gets really confusing quickly. And then like Dr. Fate says, if you weren't confused enough, here's another layer of stuff.
Here's something else.
Which is wonderful. Right, again, like calling it out, saying like, why are we in these domes? Like you said in Convergence.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden they magically are back at the White House, and as they finish the story here on the battleship, they also finish it here, so we don't have to hear that thing again. I love it, hearing it twice. And FDR is like, whoa, wow, this sounds like crazy. Like we got to really do something about this now that they understand what the missiles are. At sort of shortly after they're done, Perdegaton comes back on the TV screen and says, right, I'm going to issue the ultimate threat to the world. I'm going to blow it up with the remaining Cuban missiles. And then FDR basically says, we have no choice unless you heroes can, rid this era of these missiles, or I'll have to resign the presidency to Perdegaton.
Yep.
And so now they start breaking up into teams, going out to find these missiles, and because they're smart, they know to start looking for radiation.
Yeah.
Around the world, and that's going to be how they discover them. So Dr. Fate, Superman, and Robot Man fly out to space to destroy Degaton's satellite, right? That's the first thing, is that he's got this sort of very submarine-looking satellite up there.
It does kind of look like a submarine.
And then as they're like destroying it, Robot Man says, "Hey, what's this strange box made of lead?" And then opens it up right in Superman's face.
Superman's like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
come on,
Dude, told you not to touch stuff.
Which, of course, it has kryptonite in it.
Absolutely. It's kryptonite, and oh no. But just as you think, like, oh wow, okay, cool. Well, at least it's just kryptonite. We can sort of deal with this. Ultraman shows up, and if you know anything about Ultraman, kryptonite is his strength, right?
Yeah,
It's
he
what
feeds on it.
Yeah, it gives him power, like the yellow sun gives Superman power. So he's all sorts of jacked up and ready to just throw down and beat people up. So he grabs the kryptonite, right, which sort of juices him up, and he knocks out Dr. Fate, and he rips Robot Man's arm off, which is
pretty
just
nasty.
nice. Yeah, he just kind of pops right off, which is a lot of fun.
I love that Dr. Fate before Ultraman shows up, Dr. Fate tells Robot Man what the kryptonite is like, throw it out into space as far as you can. Superman will be fine hanging out in orbit for a little bit. Well, he was like,
Right.
yeah, just let him hang over there.
Yeah, he just needs distance. It's like someone's so drunk, you're like, just give him water, just let him walk. It'll be good. We'll be good. Yeah. So while all this is going on, it's just enough time for Superman to recover because Ultraman was taunting Robot Man.
Calling him Robbie.
Yeah.
Robbie the robot.
And then he beats the crap out of Ultraman. He knocks him into space. I love it. Like a pow. And then there he goes out into space. And then Dr. Fate somehow seals the planet so that Ultraman may not enter orbit.
Yeah.
Which they don't say how, they just do it.
Hey, it's Dr. Fate. He shot Onks at it.
And it's all good.
That's what he does.
But in the name of Anubis,
yeah.
we are good. So as Dr. Fate is like, hey, this will work, Superman is like flown away, and he went to go save Robot Man, who is going to re-enter the atmosphere and burn up. Superman's always looking out for his metal homeboys.
That's cool.
And meanwhile, over the Pacific Ocean, Liberty Bell, Starman, and Aquaman, they find a cave now where the more of the Cuban missiles are held. Right, they're using radiation to scan, and then. After they beat up a bunch of people, Berdegaton dudes in there, Superwoman appears, right, from Earth 3 Crime Syndicate. And she just starts to kick their asses. Like, she just beats them down. Like, no problem.
Pretty quickly.
Yeah. I mean, she's Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Just the same as, but she can fly, right? Because I think the Wonder Woman in Silver Age can't.
Yeah, Silver Age Wonder Woman can't, but she can now.
Now she can, something she can. I wonder.
I think post-crisis.
Post-crisis,
they got rid of the invisible jet.
How? Why? Why would they ever do that?
Because she doesn't need it if she can fly.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense why it's invisible.
I don't know. Or there's that really funny Family Guy where like Superman flies next to her and he's like, "Hey, Wonder Woman." She's like, "This is awkward. I'm actually in the invisible lavatory." And he's like, "Oh, I'll give you a minute." Right? It's like,
yikes!
Right? You got to go before you take off. Being the great villain she is, she famously monologues, which allows enough time for Aquaman to blow a giant hole in the side of the cave with the entire Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
And a blue whale.
And riding a blue whale.
Love it.
Like a boss.
Yeah. No hook there. No talking to fish.
That's
it's a
right.
blue whale. It's amazing. They defeat her. They disarm the missiles. That's all rocking. Let's see. And then we're in another location. Okay. Then Johnny Quick, Huntress, and Hawkman fly out to the Midwest. And if you notice, Hawkman has to hold the Geiger counter. It's like somebody gave him that job.
Yep.
Which is great.
Well, Johnny's carrying Huntress, so
I guess you can't do both.
You got to split
What's
the
Huntress going to hold? I don't know if they'll work that out.
Yeah.
So they're sort of, we have this radiation signal, and then all of a sudden Power Ring shows up, and they get into a battle, and then the Huntress hits him with a Batarang. Like, the other guys can't really deal with him, but Huntress knocks him with a Batarang, and then all of a sudden he, like, sort of misshoots his ring, blows open a farm silo, and then, it's a missile silo.
Yep.
That's not grain.
There's no grain in there.
He also triggers the missile to go off. And, now it's a race into space to do it. And look at Johnny Quick. Johnny Quick takes it apart and then reassembles it on the ground.
Nice.
I love that, right? So it's like, you're right. Why couldn't Superman do that at that point?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. But
it wouldn't have been the time travel.
It was a plot device. That was
it needed the time travel
Yeah.
in order for that to happen. So that's a success there. Power Ring's down, Superwoman is down, and Ultraman is down. Right, we got a couple of crime syndicators left, and with I think it's 2 out of the 4 missile sites down. Perdegaton gets a little upset, and and he vows that his sort of remaining missile sites will not be stopped. He says there's one missile site you will never find.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. Now we're in JLA 209, which has a beautiful George Perez cover.
Mm-hmm. With everybody looking really, really shocked and scared.
Oh, everybody's really roughed up. This has been traumatic for everybody.
And if you notice, the background behind
Perdegaton
is the covers of the other issues,
right?
Which is kind of cool.
This is the last book. So those are the 4 previous issues, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we got 2 All-Star Squadrons, 2 JLAs, so it's 3 JLAs. Pretty cool. Lots of good crossover stuff. So we're going to see what happens now with the remaining crime syndicators and what happens to Perdegaton. So now we're back in FDR's office, and FDR's a little scared. He's like, "All right, guys, what's the news?" Right? He doesn't want to resign the presidency. And you can see there, those are on the chalkboard. Yes. They have the teams and the missile sites.
Yeah, they have a chalkboard where they've written out all the different teams that have gone to the different locations, like outer space, South Pacific, Midwest, Switzerland, and then a big question mark for another one.
They have no idea where this last one is.
Degaton, present whereabouts unknown.
That's right. So Power Girl and Firestorm are battling some of Perdegaton's men, and they now encounter Johnny Quick of Earth 3. And Johnny Quick roughs Power Girl up. He like shakes her in a way that she like kind of loses her bearings a little bit and flies into a building. But then Firestorm uses like a giant sort of almost Green Lantern-like clamp to hold him, and that's what sort of stops him in the wake. And but the missiles go off, right? They kind of rage out of the ground and all this crazy stuff, and they start taking off. And Commander Steel and Power Girl, now they fly up and they rip the missiles apart, right? They literally like just tear them open, right? They're like, who needs a scalpel for this surgery? I think that's like one of the lines. It's really funny. Next, we're celebrating, yay, in FDR's office again, which is really wonderful. And then we have Green Lantern of Earth 2, Alan Scott, Liberty Bell, and Zatanna are visiting Professor Z and Professor Everson, who have a time projector, right? Their time machines.
And they're the one, or Professor Z specifically, is who Perdegaton works for.
That's right.
In 1947. Right. He's a lab assistant.
Yeah. So this is before that, right? So,
yeah, this is 42. Yeah.
Yeah. So he may not even.
Yeah.
I don't know.
May not know him yet. I don't know.
They may not have hung out yet.
Yeah.
But now this team, this small team, goes back in time. They figure out, well, if we use the time machine, we can go back on Earth Prime before the missiles were stolen and prevent that from occurring. So they want to sort of be there and waiting for Perdegaton and however it went down. So we're going to see that, which is really cool. So they're there in Cuba, and you can see like some of the dudes are like, first you attack us in the Bay of Pigs, and now you blah, blah, blah. And Firebrand is just, or Liberty Bell rather, is just knocking Cuban guerrillas out and all that stuff and everything, which is a lot of fun.
I don't speak the lingo.
Yeah, I don't speak the lingo. Yeah, it's very, very sensitive. And then they start to see in the sky, you go to the next page, a time rip. Right, there it is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's where the Syndicate comes in.
Right, the Syndicate and Perdegaton are coming through to now steal. We don't find that out yet, but it's definitely true as to what's going on. Meanwhile, Superman finds Perdegaton's secret hideout in Washington, D.C., and it's on the site of what is the current underground build, which will eventually become the Pentagon. And he uses X-ray vision to find that out. So X-ray vision is the shit. It is the best power in the world. You can't do nothing without that. So they like fly in through the ground, him and Fate, and they kick the crap out of his army and like all his like Cold War weapons and stuff. And yeah, so now that most of the crime syndicate has been baffled and captured, that leaves only one the most evil crime syndicator, Owlman.
Owlman, yep.
Who's about to strike and sort of jump out, but Huntress kicks his ass.
That's right.
It's just like 6 panels of like the greatest judo chops.
Yeah, her beating the crap out of him.
I mean, like even the eyes on the cow are like doink. They can't even believe it. So that's awesome.
And he actually, I don't know who. Yeah. He she says her father is Batman, which makes him mad because that's one of the people who put him in limbo.
Yeah.
So and then she comes back and like while she's beating the crap out of him, she basically tells him that he's a better man than he'll ever be.
Right.
That Batman's a better man than he'll ever be, and it's, for that matter, so is she. So.
So that's a nice fight there. I mean,
yeah.
And she takes him out swiftly, which is great. Then we go back to Cuba. It's now the Crime Syndicate and Per Degaton. We see it's them, and they're ready to brawl. They're ready to sort of take the missiles and do what they got to do. But they notice the team who's there, and they're shocked. They're like, "Whoa, what are they doing here? How can this possibly happen?" And our real hero here is Green Lantern, Alan Scott. He kicks major ass. I mean, he beats down pretty much the whole syndicate. I mean, they just roughed them down. And his fight with Power Ring is great.
Yeah.
You know, it's boxing glove against boxing glove. All that great stuff. And so Zatanna puts a suffocation spell on Per Degaton, and he passes out. That's how she sort of defeats him. And I got to make a point here, okay? Because I'm thinking about Dee Snider and the PMRC and like them talking about Ozzy Osbourne with his satanic lyrics when you play the records backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about Zatanna? All her spells are backwards things.
Yeah.
That if you read them, they like say, rise the waters to help my friends or whatever.
Yep.
But it's all whatever as you try to read it in real life. But yeah, so it wasn't Ozzy, the PMRC. Okay, it was DC Comics and Zatanna.
Zatanna started that.
Yeah. Satana.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. Thanks. Yeah, that's great.
I guess technically her dad started that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess, right? Because it
was Zatara.
Right. He was the supreme who gave her
he kind
powers.
of passed it on to her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did the same thing. His spells were basically just backwards, which gives you a headache because you have to stop and go. Okay, what's that?
You have to read it in the mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the words and the things are all backwards, so it's cray cray. So the heroes who are back in 42, because we've been on Earth Prime this whole time in Cuba, they start to see Degaton's men and all his equipment starting to disappear. So something's happening. Something's gone right. And then everything goes back to where it's supposed to. So apparently with time stuff, whenever something happens and you fix it, it repairs itself. Yeah, the universe sort of goes back. So we see Degaton being a lab assistant back in 1947. He even says...
And he doesn't have any memory of it. It sucks.
Yeah, no, they all do. You can see Liberty Bell here. She is sort of like saying, "Hey, did something happen? I think it did. I'm not sure." Yeah. So that's the thing, is that memory is gone. And keep going, because, hey, Power Girl, I noticed you were standing in a remote part of the watchtower space station by yourself.
Not that I was stalking you or anything.
I was looking at your Instagram, and or whatever the equivalent of that was back in 1982. And they cuddle. She says, hold me, please."
Yes.
Okay, I appreciate it. So there's a bit of romance there, and everything sort of returns back to normal. We sort of get that information about the time rip, and that's how this stuff really wraps up.
Mm-hmm.
So boy, oh boy, what a major story here. Lots of issues, and just chock full of heroes. Lots of great moments. We're talking about great panels. Again, it's just every story. I know I keep saying this, and I'm like, whoa, like I act all surprised, like I'm surprised. But it's like stuff just keeps getting better. I mean, I don't know what it is about George Perez, but his
artwork is incredible.
It puts it over the top.
Yeah.
I mean, the emotion in this book was better than anything I've ever seen. It didn't exist in dialogue. It was all in the faces of the heroes. Yeah,
and that's one of his. I mean, like I said, I was talking about the other week. His backgrounds are incredible. But the emotion in the face is always top notch with him, and he and the huge panels with all the different heroes in it. Even with that, there's all these different heroes. Each one has specific emotion in the face. It's not like he's just scrambling them all out.
People. Yeah, right. And they're just standing there.
Yeah, he goes into such detail on each one. It's amazing.
Really, and we're seeing new comic techniques, sort of bringing in the halftone patterns a little more for shading and whatnot, and doing more dramatic shading. But wow, Timmy D, we are down to 2 crisis stories.
Nice.
And this is the thing, is that these are not mentioned in that Crisis on Multiple Earths. So if you notice on your Comixology, it's the end of that book.
It's the end of the book,
and there's no volume 7.
Yeah.
So these are sort of crises but they are called crisis stories. So next, we're going to look at the evil Johnny Thunder from Earth 1.
Nice.
So he's going to come, and I guess we're going to be, so it's Crisis in the Thunderbolt dimension. And let's see, this is a JLA 219 and 220 from 1983.
Okay.
And then we've got one more after that, Family Crisis. The JSA, and Supergirl fight the Commander and the Crime Syndicate. And this is in JLA 231, 232 from 1984. And then after that, there's
the big one.
The big one, yeah. So we'll do two more. Then we'll have our review week.
Okay.
Where we'll go through every Earth that exists. I'm trying to get this infographic out. We might publish it in sort of wireframe mode, just for folks to see, so we can get the red pen out if we need. But we're going to try and get all that pre-crisis era completely cataloged.
Yeah.
And we've built a database. It's all worked out. So, man, I pinch me because I can't believe we're here.
Yeah.
I mean, we're right on the doorstep of Crisis, and then we're going to need 11 weeks to do Crisis, I think?
I think we decided to split it up into 4 weeks.
Parts? Yeah, because it's a year-long event, right?
Yeah. It's
Crisis?
12. It's 12 issues. So I think we do three issues a week.
Yeah.
That we should be able to.
With the major storyline.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a super exciting bunch of episodes.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Crisis it's crazy, and now we've gotten I'll admit it to you because it confused you when you were reading it. I've read DC, and I was confused when I was reading Crisis. So now we have this, all the past information going into it. We'll be able to read it again and get kind of a fresh look on it and see how the things they've set up in here, like the weeks we've been doing here, they set those things up to happen in Crisis.
And something that I've noticed is that there are a few Earths that are formalized in the Crisis story because they were things that were outlying that hadn't been folded in yet.
Yeah.
So I think Crisis, the attempt of Crisis, was at least to sort of finish that work. They're like, all right, we've been doing this 25 years, right? These different crisis stories. Let's get it all worked out, and then we can go from here and see what's what. So I guess at this point I'm seeing it more as that than a way to sort of create a clearinghouse, sort of thing.
Yeah.
I know people have said that where they're like, oh, this is where they fixed everything.
Yeah.
I just think that's where they finished this work to get to another point.
Yeah, I think that was their intent, was to fix things.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it's like the things that made it get to that point are going to happen again. It's like different editorial teams, creative teams, when they come on, they want to do the different things and try to come up with fresh takes on characters.
Right.
So that's where a lot of times it becomes that way.
So I've pulled out all the Earths that were mentioned in Crisis, and we're gonna pre-mention them.
Okay.
So when we go into it, we'll know about Lady Quark, for example, like what Earth she's from, and sort of the various people that come and go.
Yeah. And because there was some that were mentioned specific, like they were introduced specifically in Crisis, and then like a page later, have been destroyed.
Well, like the Blue Beetle's planet, Earth, for example, was never mentioned previously until Crisis, and then it was destroyed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But at least he got out of the. We've got Beetle now, so
that's right,
which is a good thing.
So this has been Mike Worth here from the Misty Borderlands. I'm going to play a little piano solo.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Yeah. So, from the Misty Borderland Cafe, make sure you tip your waitress.
Yes.
All right, there's our Exploring the Multiverse segment. We're going to take a break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to have our showcase on the emotional spectrum from the Green Lantern mythos.
Our hailing frequencies are always open. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Just search Ninja Troll Digicast or drop us an email at ninjatroll@digitaltuxedo.com.
So, I'm a dog, and I'm kind of new to this family, but I've noticed a trend. My humans do this thing where they go around and get all my toys and hide them in this basket, but it's always the same basket, and it's always the same place. And then they act so surprised when I find them. But I'm like, hello? That's where you put it last time. Humans are the worst at hide and go seek.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
Hello, this is Brian Selfries, and you have been listening to the Ninja Troll Digicast.
All right, welcome back to the Ninja Troll Digicast. Now it's time for our showcase segment, which is where we take a spotlight on basically, any subject that Mike wants me to write a research paper on.
Educate
Basically.
me on.
That's right.
Yes, folks. This entire show is about me, and I need to learn. So,
yes.
yeah.
All right, now it's time for the showcase.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ninja Troll Digicast proudly presents the Showcase.
All right, here is our showcase segment. This week we're taking a look at something that was actually a lot of fun for me to do because I took about a 10-year break from steadily reading comics. I still kind of kept up with stuff, but I wasn't buying the books and keeping up with everything that's going on.
So they introduced this
huge
thing.
While I was gone, they introduced this emotional spectrum where there's not just Green Lanterns anymore. Now there's Blue Lanterns and Red Lanterns and all these different ones. And that was, like I said, was introduced while I wasn't reading. So
what year was this roughly, Tim?
When they brought them in, or when I took a break? Because I stopped reading probably about 98 or 99, and they introduced them in like 2007.
Okay.
So about 2009 is when I got back into reading, like steadily reading comics.
Interesting.
But yeah, they introduced this other Spectrum lanterns. They were all introduced in well, not all, but some of the like the Sinestro Corps was introduced before then.
Yeah, they're a little older, right?
Yeah, they're a little older, and I think with the Blue Lanterns were brought in like a couple issues before this. But as the whole, they were all introduced in Green Lantern Volume 4, number 25, in December of 2007.
Cool. Was this part of a series, a story arc, or anything?
Yeah, it was. I'm not sure what it was called, but it was the whole thing. It was like a prophecy that led to all these the spectrums being brought about.
Was Hal Parallax at this point?
This was after
Zero Hour and that whole.
I think it was after. Yes, it was 2007. So yeah, it was way after.
Yeah.
Parallax, because Parallax was
in the
93, 94, something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was way after that. They all of the cores actually operate similarly with power ring wielders that harness the power of different emotions, and each has an emotional entity that like represents that emotion. And the spectrum is red for rage, orange for greed, yellow for fear, green for willpower, blue for hope, indigo for compassion, violet for love, and the absence of color black is death, and the combination of all the colors white is life.
Oh.
So you have the complete spectrum of
positive and negative.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And the green, and I never really thought about it, and it worked out. They were able to work out this whole. Jeff Johns was like the mastermind of all this stuff. It works out that green, which is what we've had since 1940, is the dead center of the spectrum.
Oh, it's the G between Roy and Viv.
And it's exactly, and that's the one. That's in the dead center. So they're able to. That's why the Guardians went with the green. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. The Owens, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Cool.
So the two emotions at the end of the spectrum, rage and love, have stronger influences over their users, and willpower, which is the center of the spectrum, can be used to overcome and control its emotions. So willpower is able to overcome, like rage. Green Lanterns have rage, but they're able to overcome it with their willpower.
Okay. So they're the most free.
Exactly.
Of the lanterns with their.
Now the different cores, the Red Lantern core, the leaders are Atrocitus and Guy Gardner. So it makes sense that Guy Gardner's a Red Lantern. These actually were
not an Orange Lantern.
No, we'll get to the Orange Lanterns in just a second. They're pretty funny.
Yeah.
But they draw on rage to build constructs made of red light. When they are inducted into the core, a member's blood is replaced with liquid fire, and their heart is replaced with the ring.
Oh, so they internalize the ring.
Yeah. So if the ring is removed, the wearer will die.
Whoa.
So you remember when we did the Supergirl showcase?
Yeah.
For a while, she was a Red Lantern. And the only way she got rid of it is by flying into the sun.
Oh, and burning it off.
And exactly.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. And at the same time, she had kryptonite poisoning. So it burned away the kryptonite and it burned away the red ring. So that's the only way she was able to get rid of it.
Wow.
So
that sounds really cool.
Yeah. And the members of the Corps can expel the liquid fire that their blood is replaced with. They can like shoot it out of their body, like napalm.
Oh.
Yeah. These are pretty nasty dudes.
Blood.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna name my next band that.
There you go. And most all of the Corps have their own oath, just like the Green Lanterns, which we all know.
Blackest night, brightest day, and
the Red Lantern's oath is, with blood and rage of crimson red, ripped from a corpse so freshly dead, together with our hellish hate, will burn you all. This is your fate.
Wow.
That's the oath of the Red Lantern Corps.
Damn.
Now, the orange, there is no actual orange Corps. The only orange ring bearer is Larfleeze, who draws on greed to build orange-like constructs. Larfleeze is also known as Agent Orange. And he transformed people that he has killed into his Orange Lantern Corps.
Oh.
And is convinced that everyone is out to steal his lantern.
Okay.
And this is the funniest part. The oath for him is, what's mine is mine, and mine and mine, and mine and mine and mine, not yours. That's his oath.
Awesome.
Oh,
that's cool.
Now,
so
one
like
of
a spirit army or
basically,
kind of
army, and the only people that he trusts are people he raises and controls completely. He thinks everybody else is out to get his stuff.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but it's greed. He's fed by greed. So
yeah.
Awesome. Now the Sinestro Corps.
Mm-hmm.
This is one. It's obviously yellow. And it's the only one that's named after a specific person.
Right.
It's formed and led by Thal Sinestro, and they use the power of fear to make yellow constructs. It was the first of the other Lantern Corps to appear. When Sinestro returned from Quard in the antimatter universe, because he was banished there, he came back for the antimatter universe with a yellow ring that was given to him by the Weaponers of Quard.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, the Quard, right, is the... Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's old, the Weaponers
Oh,
of
yeah,
Quard.
yeah, exactly. And when he was defeated, and see, explains how this all came about.
Yeah.
When he was able to use that ring to fight Hal Jordan, when Hal defeated him, he was actually imprisoned in the Central Power Battery, where there was something that was called, that they only referred to as the yellow impurity. That's why the Green Lanterns are susceptible to yellow. It's a yellow impurity in the Central Battery. That is parallax.
Oh.
So,
which is another. It's a spirit, not
exactly.
Hal,
it's an entity.
but,
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
That's what happened to Hal. Parallax
took him over. Yeah, when he went
and
crazy.
when they imprisoned Sinestro in the Central Power Battery, he was able to use his yellow ring. Why they wouldn't take that away from him, I don't know. Yeah. But he was able to use his ring to awaken Parallax from hibernation. Then he and Parallax were able to influence the fall of Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps.
Wow.
So
that was around the reign of Superman time, right? That Hal went insane.
Yeah, maybe a little bit after it.
Yeah, because I was trying to track that stuff down, and it's not bundled.
Yeah, it's Emerald Twilight. It's
Emerald Twilight.
The one the last issue is and I've done an art piece out of this, is number 50.
Cool.
That's where he kills everybody, and he kills the entire Green Lantern Corps. He kills the Guardians, and then destroys the Central Power Battery.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he puts his battery in him.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. He makes the battery into a suit, basically.
Right. His like armor.
Yeah. He's got issues. Yeah. And he snapped Sinestro's neck.
Wow.
Yeah. It was great. It was fun making an art piece from that, because it was good stuff. And when Sinestro formed the Yellow Lantern Corps, a prophecy was fulfilled that lantern cores of the other cosmic energies of emotion will form, giving birth to the other lantern cores. So it was an ancient prophecy that if a yellow core were to rise, then the others would come about as well.
From it. Were the members of the yellow core became members of the others? Did they start them or
no?
No.
It was just there was a prophecy that if this one rose, then the others would come as well.
Oh, interesting.
Like the Green Lantern Corps, the Sinestro Corps has 7,200 ring bearers, 2 for each of the 3,600 sectors of space. So just like the Green Lanterns, they have like an opposite number. Yeah, they've got an opposite number in each one.
Wow.
And their oath: in blackest day, in brightest night, beware your fears made into light. Let those who try to stop what's right burn like my power, Sinestro's might. Ooh. So it's all to Sinestro, yeah. Now the Green Lantern Corps is the one we know the most about, of course. Mm-hmm. They were formed by the Guardians of the Universe to combat evil and create an orderly universe. The Guardians' first attempt to enforce their will was a legion of robotic sentinels called the Manhunters. But they were flawed due to their inability to recognize or feel emotions. Mm-hmm. So the Manhunters revolted, and the Guardians stripped them of their power and banished them across the universe. Then the Guardians decided that their new force would be a group of living beings that had free will and strong moral character. That's why the ring picks its next. It has to be somebody who's worthy. It's just not the closest person.
Yeah, whoever it is.
Yeah, it has to be somebody who's worthy. So they created the power rings to give them the ability to project green beams of energy to conjure objects of any size or shape, limited only by their imagination and willpower. Now, when Parallax took over Hal Jordan, he killed all the Green Lanterns and the Guardians except one, Ganthet, and destroyed the central power battery. Ganthet used what power he had left to form one more ring and chose Kyle Rayner to be the sole Green Lantern of the Corps.
Wow.
So after the events of Emerald Twilight in issue 50, there's only one Green Lantern left, and it's Kyle Rayner.
Interesting. So how does it build back up?
It was later in an attempt to redeem himself after the Parallax incident.
Yeah.
Jordan actually sacrificed his life to reignite the sun, whereupon Oa and the central power battery were completely rebuilt by the physical manifestation of his dying will, because he wanted to put things right.
Yep.
So the power of his will made that happen.
Oh, cool.
Now, when they were, the Guardians were originally basically all old men. Mm-hmm. When they were reborn, due to that, they came back as male and female.
Oh, female Guardians.
Yes. And of course, the oath for the Green Lanterns. Can you say it? Do you know it right off the top of your head?
Brightest day and blackest night. Something Green Lantern's light.
Brightest day and blackest night. No evil shall escape my sight.
Yeah.
Let those who worship evil's might beware my power.
Yeah.
Green Lantern's light. Okay. And then the Blue Lantern Corps was formed by, like we were saying now, there's female. The Green Lantern Corps was formed by former Guardians Ganthet and Sayed, who is a female Guardian. And the two of them, she shared some of the same non-traditional thinking as of Ganthet, and the two of them were in love with each other. So they used the emotion of hope to form the Blue Lantern Corps, and then their ring wielders use the emotion of hope to form their blue constructs. After Blackest Night, neither Ganthet or Sayed are guardians of the blue light. Ganthet becomes a Green Lantern, and Sayed becomes the guardian of the orange light of avarice. And then their oath is: in fearful day, in raging night, with strong hearts full, our souls ignite. When all seems lost in the war of light, look to the stars, for hope burns bright. So, yeah, see?
So nice.
Well, let's hope. So. Now, the Indigo tribe, the Indigo is not the Indigo Corps. It's the Indigo tribe. It's actually a group of nomads formed by Abin Sur. Or actually, more accurately, they were kind of inspired by Abin Sur.
Okay, because Abin Sur's dead now.
Exactly, yeah. He met a person called Indigo One, or she calls herself Indigo One now. I don't remember what she called herself then. But she was inspired by Abin Sur, and at the time she was kind of basically just out for herself. So she was inspired by him and his compassion. So the Indigo tribe use compassion to generate constructs made of indigo light. They can also teleport long distances and reproduce the abilities of other cores.
Wow.
And their oath is actually in a language that is untranslatable by the ring. So I didn't bother to write that down, because it's just gibberish. So now
the Indigo Girls song.
Yes, that would be cool. Yeah. Now the Star Sapphires are a group of female warriors formed and led by the Zamarans that use love to create constructs made of violet light.
This is the violet.
Yes, this is violet, yes.
Okay.
The Zamarans were the female members of the race known as the Malthusians. The male member of the Malthusians became the Owens. So that's why the Guardians were all male. And then the Zamarans were the female of that species. And they went to Zamara, and that's where they set up shop. So,
cool.
Anyone,
all female core.
Yeah, well, it's been said anyone can join, but most men are not worthy.
Is Carol Ferris in
Carol
this
Ferris is,
core?
yes.
Oh, wow.
They are
so
led.
She became a lantern?
Yes, they are led by Queen Agapo, the Queen of the Zamarans, and Carol Ferris.
Awesome.
And their oath is, for hearts long lost and full of fright, for those alone in blackest night, accept our ring and join our fight. Love conquers all with violet light. Because for Carol, it boils down to her love for Hal.
Yeah.
And that's why,
But she was in love with Green Lantern, right?
Yes.
First, before she knew who he was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow. This is interesting.
Now, the Black Lantern Corps, this is where it gets interesting, because the Black Lantern Corps is actually an army of zombies.
Yeah.
Formed by the former Guardian Scar and led by the Lord of the Undead, Necron. Awesome. The Black Lanterns are dead people resurrected by a black power ring fueled by death. And they were introduced in Blackest Night.
Oh, wow.
And they are raised from the dead specifically for their connection to, like, whoever's fighting. Like when Elongated Man was fighting Necron, he raised Sue.
Sue Dibney?
Yes.
Get out of here.
Yes, it was pretty
God.
brutal.
That
was pretty brutal. Yeah. And so he would specifically raise people that had an emotional connection to that the person he was fighting.
That's unbelievable.
Oh yeah, he was.
That's
it's dark.
Devious. Yeah. So who's this guy, Black Hand?
That is his connection to Necron is Lord of the Undead, and Black Hand is actually his connection to the world.
Oh.
And he was the first Black Lantern.
Okay.
Because Necron is actually kind of the shadowy being who's controlling all of it. But Black Hand was the guy who was actually doing it.
Okay, so he's like the hand of the king.
Basically, yeah. Now the White Lantern Corps was actually formed by Thal Sinestro when he bonded with the life entity, which is the embodiment of life itself. And that's what Necron was going after. And they realized it, if I remember Blackest Night properly, they realized what he was going for, and to protect it, Sinestro joined with it. So he became the White Lantern.
So it seems like all the Justice League is all White Lanterns.
Yeah, at one point, it left Sinestro and went to, I think, Hal. I don't remember. It ended up at the end of the book. It ended up with Kyle Rayner, and he was the White Lantern.
Okay.
But they had somebody got it from Sinestro, and he had to so they could save Superman and Flash and all the Firestorm was infested by Black Hand, and he became Deathstorm, which was like an evil version of Firestorm.
Yeah, wasn't there a Black Flash that was like
Yes.
real nasty and
Yeah, because I think that was before
Flashpoint?
Yeah, I think it was before Barry had come back. So
Yeah.
like, they
That was
raised
their
it,
little-
and Batman was dead at the time, so they raised Batman.
Oh God!
But that was when it was confirmed that Batman wasn't actually dead, because the body that they raised didn't know anybody. Because that's the thing. As soon as they raise somebody, they know who they are, and they start like messing with their head.
Oh
And
God!
because whoever was in Batman's grave when he was raised, he didn't know anybody. So they're like, okay, yeah, that's not him.
Right.
I knew that was him. And so like at the end of the Blackest Night, they're like, okay, I knew that that's not him. So he's alive somewhere.
Wow.
So that was the confirmation to everybody, because Tim Drake, no, that's the whole thing with Tim. He thought that Bruce was still alive, but nobody believed it. But now that was his confirmation at the end of that.
Yeah, we definitely know now.
Yeah. So
cool.
But the White Lanterns use life, obviously, to create constructs made of white light, and the Corps members have almost godlike powers and defeated Necron and the Black Lantern Corps at the end of Blackest Night. Now each emotion or each color has an emotional entity that's tied to it.
So what does that mean?
That is, it's a embodiment of that emotion.
Okay.
Basically, and I think they can call upon. I'm not sure about that, but I think they can call upon it if needed.
Like a super attack of
Kind
some
of,
sort.
yeah,
Like
yeah. Maybe, and I may be way off on that, but this is the emotional entities as they were laid out. Is red is the butcher, which is the embodiment of rage, and it's a demonic bull. Orange is Ophidian, the embodiment of greed, and it's a large serpent. And most all of them have the symbol for that Lantern Corps on them somewhere.
Yeah, you're right on here. Yeah, look at these. That's a little blurry, but yeah, you got a bird, a snake, an octopus. Yep.
Yeah. The
what's the Green Lantern's one? A fish?
It's Ion. It's well, for yellow, it's Parallax. Obviously, it's the embodiment of fear, and it's insect-like in appearance. The Green Lantern is Ion. It's the embodiment of willpower, and it resembles a large primitive whale or a fish. The blue is Adara, the embodiment of hope, and it's a bird-like creature. Indigo is Proselyte, the embodiment of compassion. Its form is similar to a cephalopoid, like a squid or an octopus. Yeah. The violet is the predator. It's the embodiment of love. It has the form of Carol Ferris's ideal qualities in a man. Like in her despair after Hal died, it morphed itself to that.
Wow.
To kind of help her.
Mommy was lonely.
Yeah, exactly. So now Necron, he's not really like an emotional entity, but he's kind of connected. Necron is the embodiment of death, obviously. And he was the one that was controlling Black Hand, who was Necron's link to the world and was the first Black Lantern.
Gotcha.
And then there's the entity, which is the manifestation of the white light that creates life. And that's what Sinestro bonded with to make the White Lantern.
Wow, that's crazy. That's like the most evil guy made that.
Exactly. Yeah, he made the sacrifice to do. Yeah, because they figured out that that's what Necron was going for, and it was, if I remember correctly, it's been a while since I read Blackest Night, but it was buried on Earth, I think, and so they were. Well, that's why he was here, and he was going for it, and Sinestro was able to save the day.
So yeah, right. Nice job, Sinestro. So as far as like a reading for this to get the basis, So we see Parallax in Zero Hour. We're going to get into that a little bit with our crisis stories. But then, right, Blackest Night and Brightest Day were both series.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's really Emerald Night?
Emerald Twilight,
Emerald
if I remember
Twilight.
correctly,
Okay.
was where Hal, I mean, the 0 Hour comes after
Emerald Twilight.
After Emerald Twilight,
Yeah.
because he's now killed everybody. He
Coast City's
gone,
obliterated.
and that's what set him off.
Right.
Is
couldn't save.
the destruction of Coast City, and that's what set him off. Then he goes to Oa, and everybody who gets in his way, he kills. He kills Kilowog, the guy who trained him.
Right.
And then he gets into it. The Guardians are so scared, they give Sinestro a Green Lantern ring.
Let's say
They give him back to him and said, "Yeah, that's how scared they were, because Hal's coming and he's pissed."
Wow.
And they have this giant fight, and it's in issue 50 of Green Lantern. It's like I said, it's Emerald Twilight Part 3, I believe.
Okay.
It's the glow in the dark cover.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Now,
so my art piece glows in the dark, and I tell everybody that comes by the table, "Yep, that one glows in the dark."
That one glows in the dark.
Yeah. So, but yeah, they have this giant fight, and and he ends up he's got him in basically like a rear naked choke. He's like choking him out, and he tells Sinestro, he's like, I should have probably done this years ago. And Sinestro says, "Yeah, you probably should have." And he crack, he breaks his neck and kills him.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then right after that, Kilowog, he's sitting there and he's like, he basically, even though it's Sinestro, he's going, "Okay, did I just
see you do that?
Did I just no?" Kilowog hadn't showed up yet. Hal's actually thinking to himself, is like, "Okay, did I really just do that?" And then here comes Kilowog, and they end up fighting, and he incinerates Kilowog. And then he's sitting there talking to his smoldering corpse, like
saying what?
Saying, "I've crossed the line here." But then, because Parallax's control, is inside his mind, just throwing stuff at him, and it's feeding on his fear.
Yeah.
And the fear that he's not good enough to protect the people he loves, and that the fear that the Guardians are trying to control him, and they're not doing what they should.
He's paranoid.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's all coming into, feeding into that from what Parallax is ladling into his head, and yeah, he, like I said, he's just sitting there. He's talking to this smoldering corpse of Kilowog, and he's like, "I've crossed the line here." So that's what I love about doing the art pieces that I do. I get to have like panels like that and be able to arrange them, and it just, I mean, it's like
you retell the story.
Basically,
almost.
I try to do that with art pieces. Is available at kapowcomicart.com.
Subtle.
Thank you. I try to put that stuff in, because I like the whole thing with Sinestro. It's the whole panel is like, the two of them have just beaten the crap out of each other. They're bruised. They're bleeding. They obviously have been in a knockdown drag out. And Hal's won. He's got him right there. He's got him in. All you have to do is you squeeze for a little bit. He chokes him out. He's unconscious. Fight's over. But no, he's going the extra mile, and it's a panel of the two of them going, and Hal says, I should have done this a long time ago.
Yeah.
And Sinestro says, yeah, you probably should have. And the next panel is dark, and it just says crack across it.
Oh.
So you don't actually see him doing it, but it's there.
Oh, man.
And it's an impressive little title.
Like a goodie.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm here on Comixology, and they've got it.
That's it.
Issue 40, Resurrection of Coast City. How far do you go back?
I would say, the actual Emerald Twilight was 3 parts, but to get everything, you'd probably have to go back to, like, say 40 or so. To get, because something happened, like the Cyborg Superman destroys Coast City.
Oh, that's how that happens.
And and then he gets. I love that cover right there. Which scroll down a little bit. What number is that?
49.
49.
Yeah, with the
he's
crazy
he's got he's got all 10 fingers have Green Lantern rings on them, and he's got the crazy grin going on.
Awesome. All right. I'm putting these in my cart right
there you
now.
go.
So, cool. Well, this is great because I bought Blackest Night, and I thought, I don't know if I should dig into it because I read 52 without reading Infinite Crisis.
Yeah.
And that was...
Well, the Infinite Crisis, I actually picked that up the other day and started flipping through it. That starts with everybody pissed at Wonder Woman. She killed Maxwell Lord on TV. Oh. Yeah, he was, originally he was almost like the Justice League's manager. He was the corporate
the South,
side.
Jimmy Hart?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Or like a Bobby Heenan. Who would you say?
That'd be awesome. Yeah. But yeah, he was their organizer. He kept up with
appearances,
public relations and stuff like that.
Yep.
But then he went evil and went against them, and he was was it Checkmate he was working for? But yeah, for some reason she decided he needed to die, and he needed to die on live TV.
Damn.
So yeah, it was just what? She broke his neck right there on TV.
Because I jumped into that and I was like, "What? Who did Wonder Woman killed somebody?" I was like, "How?" Oh, and I had no idea. I mean, it's just I got that one.
At the beginning of Infinite Crisis, I think it's they might be in the satellite, or they're in one of their headquarters. But Superman and Batman, and they're kind of
they're talking about her.
Yeah, and all of a sudden she shows up, and the Batman is like, "What are you doing here? You do not need to be here."
Yeah.
So, because everybody is all cranked up at her about that. So obviously, that makes sense.
Oh,
But
this is good stuff.
Yeah, it was a lot of good stuff. So that is our showcase on the emotional spectrum of the Green Lantern mythos. So
fabulous.
Before we get out this week, we're going to go do our pick of the week segment. Mine, you just went to Heroes today and picked up some stuff.
I sure did.
So what'd you got?
Oh, so I'm going first today. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, that's good. All right, so the first thing, not all my issues came out. I'm reading Dr. Fate, Black Canary, Secret Wars, Shattered Empire, a bunch of titles, so nothing new on that front. But the True Believers previews for 99 cents are coming out. So I picked up Unbeatable Squirrel Girl #1. I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Being a friend and fan of Rico Renzi, I think this book's a winner.
Oh yeah.
And you're always
it's
talking
awesome.
about how funny it is. So it's
I love it. Yeah.
I'm dying. But I've been waiting a damn long time for this book.
That's a big comic right
It's
there.
a big one.
Yeah.
Okay. Number two. Come on. Number 2 of Wonder Woman 77, right? So if I can't have Batman 66,
you have Wonder Woman 77.
DC, if you cancel this title, okay?
Yeah.
I will not send you a Christmas card this year.
There you go.
But of course, it's 66 does the Adam West a series. This is the Linda Carter series, which is really cool. Great battle. I was just thumbing through it while you were taking too long coming back.
Grundy.
It's Solomon Grundy and Cheetah.
Oh, cool.
Is in this one, and it's a new Cheetah because Priscilla, I think Golden Age Cheetah, I forget her name, but she's dead. Apparently.
Okay.
And a woman finds the Cheetah shrine and comes alive, and it's got some badass fighting. So
cool.
Yeah, it's a biggie. It's $7.99 for the issue, which
it's a big issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a square bound. It's not a floppy. It's actually bound.
Yeah, this is
like a graphic novel basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But just a few, but some nice picks of the week. How about you?
My first one actually feeds into what our showcase was on this week. It is the Star Trek Green Lantern crossover.
What?
Yes, it's called the Spectrum War. And that was the thing I'd forgotten. I'd gotten behind on my reading because I was reading 52. And
that's my fault.
Yeah, I got behind on it. I'd kind of forgotten about it, but I had issue 2 and 3.
Cool.
And I was able to read up. And basically it's the Enterprise comes across a deserted planet, and they come across this Ganthet's skeleton.
Oh.
and he's got like a handful of rings.
Ganthet is a
guardian. Yeah. And he has.
Are they all green or are they different colors?
No, they're different. They're different colors. Ooh. And so they take the body and the rings back, and Scotty thinks it's a good thing to flood them with tachyon energy, which basically activates them because they were drained out.
Yeah, right. They didn't have any power.
They didn't have any power. So this powered them. They immediately go to find people. Oh. So the red one goes to the Klingon that they were fighting.
Oh boy.
It was General Chang, which I believe was the one with the eye patch from one of the movies.
Undiscovered Country?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
He was awful.
Yeah, yeah, which makes sense. The red one went to him. Then the orange one went to the Praetor of the Romulan Empire.
Okay.
And you see this sprinkled in like as it's going.
Ferengi? That would be a better one.
No,
for
yeah.
Orange, right?
Well, they haven't. I don't think they've ran into the Ferengi yet.
Oh, right, because it's classic Star Trek.
Yeah, well, it's the new. It's the new. It's like Chris Pine, Zachary Quinto drawing, but it is Kirk and Spock and McCoy becomes the is Indigo. Which one was Compassion? I've already closed it now, but
I forget now.
Yeah, whichever one is Compassion is McCoy. Then the blue one goes to Chekhov. The Star Sapphire one goes to Uhura.
Okay.
But at the end of the first issue, before any of that really starts to happen, the end of the first issue, Hal Jordan shows up and goes, "Why have you got my buddy Skeleton? What's going on here?"
Right.
And
that sounds cool.
In the second and third issue, which I just read, they start revealing that these other ones, like, okay, Chekhov has got the one, Uhura's got the other one.
Where's Yellow?
Yellow, who did that go to? Yellow went to the Klingon. The red one went to a Gorn.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, so Ultimate Rage.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's it. That was it. Yeah, and the General Chang goes back to Kronos, the Klingon homeworld, and he basically destroys the entire council and declares himself emperor.
Boom.
And then Sinestro shows up and goes, "Wait a minute, I don't know. You sound like what you're doing might be a good idea, but I'm the one that calls the shots with the yellow rings." Ooh. So I think that was the cliffhanger of issue 2.
Issue 2.
And then in 3, they started revealing some of the other ones. And Hal is on the bridge of the Enterprise, while Chekhov is out
flying around
outside the ship. And
oh my God, it exists.
Kirk
I can't
says, Kirk says, I need you back inside. And Hal's like, come on, let him enjoy. Yeah, let him enjoy it. It's I remember the first day with the new ring, and Kirk like, okay, knock it off. Don't question my orders to my crew.
Okay.
Yeah, and Hal like busts back a little bit on him and says, "It's Captain, and you may not have the Air Force around here anymore, but I was a captain in the Air Force, so address me as Captain Jordan."
Yeah.
Or so they kind of bump heads a little bit because they're both a very similar like A-type characters, and so they're butting heads a little bit.
I bet.
So it's been a lot of fun. It was, I mean, I got it just kind of.
Who's putting it out?
It's IDW and DC together.
Oh, collaboration. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 6-issue run. It looks like.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But they did a collaboration earlier. I think it was last year. They did Star Trek and Planet of the Apes.
Right.
The Primate Directive. Which was really, really good. And so I figured, what the heck? Let's see what they do with this.
Green Lantern.
And it's been really, really good.
They were all space. Yeah. I mean,
exactly. Yeah. So
it could work.
Yeah. It's a really good story. And what it was, they revealed now, Ganthet, it's while they were fighting Necron. I don't know if it's like during Blackest Night or whether this is supposed to be a new, like Necron's risen again.
Mm-hmm.
But they thought, Ganthet thought everything was done for, so he it's called Final Light. It basically it's something he does. Guardian can do to open it kills them. It ends up killing them, but it's like if this is the last ditch effort, it opens up a rip in the space-time continuum, goes to another universe.
Oh, wow.
And it brings the remaining lanterns with him. So basically they can repopulate the spectrum.
Force.
Yeah. Yeah, so
awesome.
That's why Atrocitus is there, Larfleeze is there, Sinestro is there, Carol shows up.
I see Spock and Larfleeze fighting.
Exactly, yeah.
On the cover of issue 3.
Yeah, so yeah, it's turned out to be very, very good, and like I said, it goes along perfectly with the showcase this week. So I was reading them this week and going, okay, this is awesome. It's and like when because Hal's there and you see him, but you don't think about the other ones being there, and then when it's revealed that they are, you're like, holy crap, okay, now they're all there.
That's awesome.
So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And also another one I picked up. And this is just a straight flashback. This in the late 90s, DC did a series that was plus. It was the Flash plus Impulse or Superman plus whatever.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of like a team-up book. And I just picked up the Flash plus Nightwing, which it's my Flash, as far as I'm concerned, is Wally.
Wally West, yeah.
And Dick Grayson, who grew up together. They've been friends since they were Robin and Kid Flash. So it's I haven't read. I've started like the first page of it, and they're like on vacation. They're driving somewhere, and the two of them are just like pecking at each other like brothers.
Yeah.
So and it's a lot of fun. It's just for me. It's like I said, it's just nostalgia. So
it's classic.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's my picks of the week. So, but that's gonna wrap it up for this week's edition of the Ninja Troll Digicast. Remember, for all the latest news from all around geek culture, make sure you follow us on social media: Facebook.com/Ninja Troll Digicast, Twitter @Ninja Troll Show, and Instagram @Ninja Troll Digicast. Or you can visit our YouTube page at youtube.com/C/Ninja Troll Digicast, and you can always visit us at NinjaTrollDigicast.com. While you're there, click on the subscribe to iTunes button to get the Ninja Troll on iTunes. And make sure you join us next week, same Ninja time, same Ninja channel.
You've been listening to the Ninja Troll Digicast. Tune in next time when you'll hear Mike say,
The Lord Jehovah, has given unto you these 15... Wait. 10 commandments for all to obey.
This is the Ninja Troll Digicast, the defenders of all things geek culture.
Don't go ninja, nobody don't need ninja.